You don't say.
Your words are as empty as your soul.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, episode 861, the Grimmsnarl Podcast.
Sounds friendly.
NickyHill,
Hi.
Would you like to read the Pokemon? Welcome back.
I could
Welcome back.
read the Pokemon. I just don't have the Pokemon. And even if I did
There you
have
go.
it, I don't know if I can
Don't
handle
put
it.
COVID on my phone. Too late.
You know what? I'm out. Grimmsnarl. This Pokemon has complete control over its hair. Gotta do that for mom brain. Grimmsnarl normally keeps its hair wrapped around its body to support its muscles. Its height is 4 foot 1 inches, 4 foot 11.
Mhm.
Weight is 134.5 pounds. That is a lot. That's a hefty.
Don't
fat
body
it.
shame. Don't
Yeah,
body
what's
shame.
wrong with you?
Well, I'm trying to just lead into the category is bulk up.
How do you
Yeah.
think Bulbasaur feels?
So that's a lot of
Wonder
muscles.
how heavy
Is that a
Bulbasaur
Pokemon?
is.
So is that a lot of muscles or is that a lot of hair?
It's got to be mostly hair.
Abilities. Frisk. When it enters, do I read all that? When it enters a battle, the Pokemon can check an opposing Pokemon's held item. Prankster gives priority to the Pokemon's status moves. Topics?
Nope, that's me. Get the hell out of there. Thank you,
Why
NickyHill.
do you have
Thank
it there
you.
if we're not supposed to read it?
Because this email's for me. You just get the beginning.
I thought that was just a copy and paste from the Pokedex.
Oh no, yes, this is like my list of crap I
But
want to talk about before
It's
we
your
get to it.
topics, not the Grimmsnarl.
Yes,
He always
squad
has to
topics.
snatch the phone from my hand before I keep going because same thing. You know, you just
Because-
naturally want to keep reading what's there.
You guys are correct because I've never explained it. You're right. I should say yes. I send myself an email that starts out with the Pokemon. Then it has topics of things I want to talk about that I remind myself of. Then your questions, listeners, are in here as well. So yes, that makes sense. NickyHill, you are correct.
Okay.
I'll format it differently in the future. NickyHill, it's nice to have you
Just a
back.
heads up. Just a heads
Don't
up.
get too cocky.
Yeah. I would say it's nice to be back, but we'll see how this goes.
Oh boy, how you feeling? Fit as a fiddle?
Feeling all right.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
Good.
I mean,
Super Blastex says, so good to see
fall
NickyHill back.
Thank you.
We agree.
Hiley and Tom, I will tell you about that begrudgingly because it's a nightmare. But first, let me say hello to Deux Michaels,
Uku.
and Kirby.
Hey.
Mom Brain will be
Doesn't
here later.
anyone care what I think?
Josh Grobot is here, of course. Josh, how are you?
I'm here to grace you with my presence.
Josh must.
Oh,
you
we brought
must
presents.
Josh, you must be buzzing this week, not bussin', buzzing, because that Tetris trailer came out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Starring, what's that guy's name?
Did you know you can win money?
Alexi.
Don't be a
Tagline?
sweaty.
I was
Be a
talking about
go-getty.
Target. Is
The
it
actor.
Targan?
Be a Tetris
Taran?
sweaty.
Taran or
Daenerys Targaryen.
Taron Egerton.
Taran?
Taron Egg. No.
Edgar?
No, there's a different Egerton, isn't there?
Terry
There's-
Broche Hippo.
Yeah, but they're all the same family. I
Are
think.
they? Is that true?
Are they?
It was?
Was it?
It didn't die.
Sure,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that Tetris trailer came out. You know what?
Yeah,
We can talk about that, but let me get the other
everything's-
hellos out first. What
The old
do we got? Oh, look at this. Retsuza is living the life. He's playing Wario Land 3 on the Switch
All
Online
right, can we talk
expansion
about
pack
that game?
and
Can we talk about
watching
that
the
game?
podcast at the same time. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. I guess we can talk about game here.
win.
Go ahead.
That game is like highly regarded as a great game or something.
I know. I
Or
don't
something.
like it.
Which game we talking about?
Wario Land 3.
That's
the
the one
first
that's on.
main
they're-
Wario
That's
game.
the one that's on the Game Boy, on Nintendo Switch.
You got it.
It was here. Yeah, I was very frustrated with that game. I think
Sounds
a big
about right.
a big part of it is that Nintendo Switch Online does not include the information booklet that teaches you how to play.
It's
Oh
true.
my
God!
So like controls were foreign to me. Nothing that
This
I
is
did
on
made
a system
sense.
that has what
Two
and
buttons,
B.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but there's
Game Boy Advance
abilities.
does have more. It
There's
has
abilities,
A, B, L,
and there's
and
things
R.
to do, and you can't do any of them.
Well,
And
yeah.
and I'm
If
looking
only
at
there
stuff.
was some sort of worldwide
Yeah.
information portal
Okay.
you could go on.
Yeah, no, that works great. Why can't they just put the information there? Why do I have to pay for the service and then do extra work?
Listen, I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be nice to have it there because it would, yes. But rather than, grumbling about it, you could have taken
I
30
did.
seconds to look up the
I did.
Okay.
And it
then
took
you're
longer
good.
than 30 seconds, pal.
But you're right. Yes, it would be nice
then
to have the instructions.
Let's also
booklet.
talk about how, okay, it's Wario. He doesn't look.
He's gonna win.
He doesn't look like he's overweight in this. He looks buff as heck.
No. He's got a big belly, but he's got muscular arms.
When you see him from the front or back, you
Hell
don't
yeah.
you don't see like the depth in that. So he looks like real built. And then he turns and you're like, whoa. But my issue is when he opens treasure chests. That's the thing that is confusing me. It's like you have to go and do this, and you open treasure chests and you don't accomplish it doesn't accomplish anything. And then you go to like the next level.
What do you mean? I haven't played it since it originally came out. I almost started it again this week.
It doesn't I just didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything because there's different treasure chests and it took me time to realize you have to keep going back into the same levels at different times and with different abilities. Like I get it.
Oh, it's
But-
the first Metroidvania.
Oh, well,
Besides
it's a
Simon's
Metroid-
Quest.
it's a Metroid game. Anyway, that's terrible. But,
Oh my goodness.
Metroidvania.
yeah. So he but when he goes to open the chests, he faces the chest, so his back is to you, and it's shady as heck. He goes he looks left and right or right and left, whatever, and then it's like he's sticking it in there, man. He's like wiggling the key. It's very inappropriate.
Son of a bitch. I wish I played it this
It
week
is
so I
so
could have more. Like
inappropriate, it makes me-
my memory of 25 years ago was not that good.
I don't want to talk about it and
See,
just be
now I want to play it.
You don't want to
know what
talk
I mean?
about
This
it.
is like
You're
a
talking
great
about it, and we want you to
well, I
talk
don't
about
want
it.
to.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what I want to say, but it looks like he's.
Yeah, we're never inappropriate on this show.
It just looks far too inappropriate. He's like, anybody looking?
Would you
Now's
do me a
my
favor?
chance.
Would you do me a favor?
What?
Would you go get me my Switch? I want to
Would you do
reenact
me
it
a
right
favor?
now.
Please
Please.
shut that dog up.
and turn the
Nah, that's
lights
fine.
down low.
Right in my office in
in
the
the
dock. Yeah. Thank you. Grantimus says that's the fastest we've ever gotten to what you've been playing. It's true. While Nicky
Yeah.
Hill is not here, let me say hello to Grantimus and Giant Reggie and Red Souza and Highly and Tom and Tentavision. Thank you, Nicky Hill. And Tony De La Mancha and Alternate Liz, who's playing Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Sneaker Hacks, good to see you. Dre Gamer, Malik Halo, Anastasia Beaverhausen, Super Blast X, I already said hello to. Mars Barrow, thank you for posting the Pokemon in there, Red Souza. And whoever else I didn't see, you come in, you say hi, I read your name, I give you, you give me cash money, I laser you eyeball. Hello, Z Kamuto. Good to see everybody. It's listen, I'm always weird. I recognize that, but I'm so out of it this week. I apologize in advance because it's been hell. We will get to the bottom of this Wario thing. Kirby, can I put you in charge
What have
of
you been
doing
playing?
Of doing
getting to Wario opening a treasure chest?
Oh.
I'm asking you, would you like to just
Sure,
sit
why
here and
not?
play a game for a little bit?
yeah, sure.
And then you can open the treasure chest and do it, and there's the rewind function, so we can all just watch it again. I trust you and only you with this very difficult task.
Now I feel like a pervert.
There you go.
Notice me,
Enjoy.
senpai. Notice me.
So yeah, why am I out of it? Okay. So as you might remember from last week's episode, there was some disconnecting issues. Thankfully, the laptop never lost connection fully. and the show continued to stream. But Michael's phone, I believe, had an issue. Mine had an issue. Mombrain's had an issue. We were all disconnecting from Discord and had wonky internet. Hello, Elfman. Good to see you.
Something is looming.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Elfman. Hello, Kufu the Mommy. So that began a week of nightmares because I started to notice that there were Wi-Fi issues here. And I didn't know what it was. And we had a technician out. We have Comcast because really, honestly, that's the only game in town here. There are other companies, but it's like pay $50 for speeds of 10 down and 4 up. And that's not an exaggeration. Like Verizon was like the same price for like 50 down. And I was like, I'm getting like 1,200 down. Why would I? This doesn't make any sense.
RPG.
That's right.
terms.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I got to talk about packets and all the other things you guys said I was making up.
Yeah, I remember that.
So anyway, Comcast.
I'd
yes.
like some ketchup and some honey mustard packets, please.
Oddly enough, we are talking about ketchup as well. Comcast does suck. I do want to say
Tasty.
the Comcast sucks for a lot of reasons. I do want to say the technicians that were here were fantastic. I would say probably the most helpful and nicest technicians I've ever had for anything.
Were they handsome?
Unfortunately, one was handsome. One
Did
was a
they-
nice guy. One was handsome.
Nice personality.
Yeah, they were both very nice personality, very friendly. But sad story is neither of them could figure out the issue. We've tried a bazillion things. I have more things to do later on, but I have come to there's been a discovery. There's an issue with our 5G and not our 2.4. So that is the biggest piece of information I learned. How did I learn that? On my own. The technicians ran a whole bunch of tests and did a
Is
whole
that what
bunch of
the
things
5
and all
the
that.
2.4 stand for? G's?
Gigahertz. GHZ.
Oh.
I understand.
Quick
thought
lesson 2.4, as I told you earlier, 2.4 is more steady
Right.
but slower.
Right.
5 is much faster but not anywhere near as steady.
Yeah.
2.4 is also very old compared to 5. Oh, it looks like Retsuza might have a clip for us in the chat of Wario. He does.
Oh,
He
I did
does.
this for nothing.
We'll look at yours too. Okay.
It's
All
okay.
right. All
He's-
right.
Yes, he's
All
servicing
right.
himself.
Okay. I see it. I'm not going to lie.
It's the left and the right look, and then he just
Nicky
finishes
Hill?
himself off.
You're right. It doesn't. I thought I'd see him like bend over and put the key in, but it does not look like
All
that.
right, that's
Red
definitely
Souza,
what
thank
he's
you for
doing.
going through that trouble. And Kirby, we will gladly look at it when you do it too. I'll take any
You don't-
chance I get to look at
you don't
a
have to.
Wario shoving his dick inside of a treasure chest.
See if you can get another angle on it.
Yeah, it's not 5G cell service. It is 5 GHZ for Wi-Fi.
Oh my God!
Yes, 5G cell is new, but compared to 2.4 and 5, the 2.4 is a lot older. But yes, 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's not, brand new or anything like that. But anyway, so I found out that the issue is with the 5GHZ, but I don't know. I got more things. Basically, this is what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I am going to disconnect absolutely everything and anything that is connected to the internet and rebuild the entire house one item at a time. And yes, I do have to recycle the router every single time. So it's going to be, let me try one Wi-Fi light bulb of like 20. Okay, that's not a problem. Let me plug in the next one.
your
So it's going to be a
Wi-Fi
lot
light
of fun.
bulbs, they work through the other hub though.
That hub is not plugged in right now. We're running bare bones right now.
So wait, they're still hooked up to your Wi-Fi?
No, they're
individually?
out.
Oh, they're not working.
We have no Wi-Fi light bulbs right now. None. All disconnected. They're regular lights, so they function as a
Just
regular.
imagine how much like your
That was a
body
really
is just,
great
like,
story.
in relief
you,
without
Josh.
getting bombarded with all these invisible signals from left and right. I mean, they're all still around us. We're still getting bombarded.
Zico Mudo says if it's a carrier router, buy a new one. I did, and the problem was still there, which is why I'm just as confused. I've gone through 3 routers now, 2 provided by Comcast,
What
one
about
I
the
bought on
other-
my own.
What about the other Echo? You
That
disconnected
has
it
been
and
disconnected.
It was
yes.
working better, right?
The one thing I did yesterday was disconnect a one Wi-Fi light bulb that Mom Brain recently put in her office. The internet was great for 12 hours, no problems, and then at like 1:15 last night, it crapped the bed again. So square one.
We got to play something online, like pronto because this is the only chance it's ever going to be that you have worse internet. We can go,
Well-
your internet's the problem, rather than us being the problem.
I do
This
not
is
have.
why NickyHill hasn't played with
Yeah,
us
right.
online because
My internet is terrible.
I don't have any wireless speakers. No, thank
My
you.
internet is so bad.
I really appreciate you guys giving suggestions. Zikamoto says Comcast be lying to you. What do you mean lying? What are they saying? Literally, the guy, like, I saw the guy on the street drive to every pole and climb up to check the junction boxes and all that stuff. And somebody else was here. So
You're the reason
the,
my rates went up.
the technicians were really doing things like that. I know for sure. The first technician a week ago, who the hell knows what he was doing? But the guy yesterday and today, they were legit. So, so there you go. So that's what I've been dealing with. So yes, I'm very tired and out of it. And-
you know who we forgot
oh
to-
yes, George is here. Of course, George. I'm so sorry. George, how are you? Are you connected on Lime today, George? Oh, no comment.
I guess I'm not. Buongiorno.
George, your voice sounds a little different today, but I like it.
I forget what I sound like every week.
I forget what I sound like.
I'm just
Connected
I'm doing
on
my best.
Lime all the time.
I'm doing my best Luigi voice because of the new trailer.
And,
that I
you know, it
saw.
sounded more like Toad, George, at first. At least a couple of minutes ago, it sounded
well,
like.
the Charlie Day Luigi.
Hey, sweetie.
There you go.
I'm the best.
There we
There we
go.
go.
The Charlie,
Charlie Day is his name, yes. I am on coax. Fiber is not provided in our area. It is not around. Nowhere here. I have checked multiple times, including this week. No fiber. Anyway, enough about my internet problems. I will tell you a funny story that's not game related, and then we can get back to games. A couple nights ago, I got up. I was playing a game. I looked out the window, and there's a street lamp here that lights intermittently, and it happens like at the same interval every time. So I just happened to look out the window when the light wasn't on, looked across the street. This is like 3 a.m, and I saw something.
that guy.
Well, all right. So yeah, there's this guy that's been wandering our neighborhood. Long story short, there's a
Sorry
guy
to
that's been
laugh.
wandering the neighborhood.
You sound like you said watering. He's
Watering
the
it, yeah.
neighborhood.
So no, it was not him. But anyway, I look out the window and I saw something, but it was pitch black. I couldn't make out like any details. But at that point, I'm like, well, I'm committed. Like whatever this is, I'm gonna sit here and watch it. So the light slowly comes on, and the street light just like very slowly fades in, and then when it's at its brightest, it's like dim, and it lasts for like 10 seconds and then goes out. So as the light comes up, my eyes are struggling to see what the hell I'm looking at. So I'm staring and I swear to God, it looked like
Chupacabra.
a smaller Slender Man.
Grimmsnarl.
No Grimmsnarl. Like I saw like what looked like a tall creature like walking towards my house, and I was like, so
Wait,
Hey.
is this a dream? I missed
No,
the
no, this
beginning.
is real.
Oh, okay, this is real.
So again, I'm very practical. I didn't think it was a monster, but I was nervous because I was like, something is clearly moving towards the house. What is this? And I'm looking, and it's got like, I don't know. It looked like it had like shoulders and its head, and it was like bigger than usual or bigger than you expect for a person, like walking towards me. And this is just like with like a glint off of something. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know it's coming towards me, and I'm like, just like freaking out, and I'm waiting for the light to get bright enough to see maybe what this thing is. Anybody want to guess what it was?
So you can see now why in horror movies people just stand there when like the monster's walking right at
Well,
them.
that's the thing. I thought.
tall was it?
Well, it looked like it was pretty tall, not Slender Man tall, but taller than an average person.
Is it the telephone pole across the street?
Yeah,
That's what it was. The telephone, of
or the
course.
other, or like a mailbox or something.
It wasn't a mountain. No, it was moving.
Well, he's about to tell us. Like,
you could have looked like it was moving. And,
No, it was
you know,
definitely moving.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Your
So it's
brain does
walking.
things.
If you don't have any guesses, I
it
will
was
tell
a
you what it was.
tumbleweed.
So the light comes on enough for me to see what this is. This won't be a surprise for
That
this
was
neck of the
Pyramid
woods.
Head,
It
not
was
Slender.
a deer But
I guess we could have.
it was walking down that street over there. So it was on a slant. And I could see its butt above its head because it's walking down the hill.
Oh.
So in the dark,
perspective.
it looked like something with big shoulders walking right towards me.
And 2 ears coming out of its hips.
Yeah, there he is on Sasu Beaver House. Put him in the chat. That's exactly what I thought. But yeah, for like a good 15 seconds, I was like, "What is this thing that's about to kill me?" But it was a deer.
They'll kill
so-
you.
A deer could still kill me. That's true. Hello, Ice Dilbert. Good to see you. Look up sliders, people. Streetlight interference phenomenon.
That's
Oh,
that
those-
Jerry O'Connell show. I remember.
I did watch that with the guy from Indiana Jones. He was in that, right?
Sure.
You know it. Was it? Come on, Kirby. You know
Sala?
everything.
John Restages.
Yeah. He was in that show.
I vaguely remember the show.
Oh, I remember that show.
I remember.
It was multi-dimensional. Multi-dimensional quantum leap, but with multiple main characters. But it wasn't.
Okay.
I guess.
Eh.
Not.
But they were going from reality to reality to like save them.
So, but they weren't changing identities.
No.
Not yet. The
Not
new
yet.
Quantum Leap's on. I haven't started watching it yet.
That
I've
story
heard-
was boring and dumb.
I've heard middling things. Not like that new Night Court, which everybody's loving. All right.
Well, you can't go with reviews now, can you? You learned that last night, didn't you?
That's true. Well, listen. I mean, I'm not going to go into any spoilers or anything. No, I'm going to wait until Mom Brain gets here because I want her to talk about it. We'll get to that later. I do want to talk about something.
Boring.
I do want to talk about something boring. I'm going to do something I don't think I've ever done, and not because I don't believe in it, but because I just haven't had an opportunity to do so. I would like to take this moment to stick up for sports fans of all things. So the Super Bowl was last weekend. Did anybody here watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Oh, big sports fan over here. I'm defending you today, Kirby. But anyway,
Is it because your girlfriend is in Philly?
is it because your girlfriend is a football player?
No, we just wanted to watch the Eagles lose, basically.
Well, you got your wish.
Yeah.
And in bitter fashion too. So the best outcome you could have hoped for
Well,
if you
I
wanted
should
to see him lose.
say she wanted them to win.
Oh, okay. Well, then she must be very upset because
Johnny and Jane Pigskin.
I know
She,
Eagles fans were very upset about
Yeah. Well, she got over it eventually.
that. So anyway, I listen. When we were all kids, and still to a degree now, a much less degree, but when we were all kids, we all got crapped on for playing video games. Like being fans of video games got called nerds and made fun of and all that stuff. Same for not you guys, but me with anime and stuff like that. Like it was par for the course. Now that stuff has come much more into favor, and you don't really hear that anymore. But when the Super Bowl happened, I can't tell you how many people I saw on social media, both through friends and just general social media, of people making fun of others for watching A, the Super Bowl, B, sports in general. And I was like, listen, I'm not a sports guy, but like, don't turn into the horrible people that we had to deal with 20 years ago. Why would you do, like, I understand your frustration, but don't become the monster. Like
Making fun of people watching sports?
yeah, like making fun of people enjoying football and being excited about the Super Bowl. And like, I was like, I can't remember
don't know
any
who
other
your
time
friends
where
are,
I've
pal. That's
seen,
mean.
well, like I said, it was social media in general, but it was definitely friends of ours. Or I shouldn't say that, like people I have on like my actual social media accounts. But I was just shocked because I was like, what happened this year where quote unquote the nerds were like, I am now going to hate on sports.
Taking it back.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's my time to be the bully now. I was like, what the hell happened? I was just shocked
I
by
thought
it.
that happened every year around the Super Bowl. Or no, it's the people on Twitter saying that, they have to let everyone know that they're not watching.
Oh, that I have seen. Yeah, that's a thing. Which also I don't like. Like what? Like okay, you don't like football or sports in general. That's fine. You don't have to go out of your way to let everybody know that you think you're better than them by not watching the Super Bowl.
Well,
like whatever.
yeah, and why are people supposed to care about what you're not doing?
Yeah,
one thing.
exactly. Sneaker Hack says some people hate fun. Ignore them. So yeah, I don't know what happened this year, but it just seemed like there was and obviously on social media, I'm following a lot of what you would call traditionally nerdy accounts, people who are obviously into video games and anime and comic books and all that stuff. And I was like, what? Did they all have a secret meeting on the internet where they were like, this is the year where we flip the table? I was just shocked. So I know you guys listening aren't like that, but I just like it's so disappointing to see. So if this is what's happening now, and it continues this way, then the pendulum is going to swing back in another 20 years and gamers will be crapped on again.
Some of those people are probably like, oh, you're watching the Super Bowl? And then they go back to playing Madden.
Why watch the Super Bowl when you can be in the Super Bowl?
But like,
Ba, ba, bum, ba, ba,
I don't know,
ba.
it just goes back to how so many people just want something to unite against, to hate.
Yeah,
Like-
people love hate.
like,
It's a
it's
uniter
so-
unlike any other. It really is. It's sad. Not us though.
Yeah, like we talked about the Velma show, how it brought
That-
two
you
worlds
know, that's
together
A great
through
point.
hate.
I know we talked about that, but we didn't really hone in on that fact. We mentioned that it brought the two sides together, but that is amazing because it's done through hate.
Yeah, just have to
And
find
that unifies
something
people.
for them to both hate.
If only we could, if only there was one thing we could universally hate, it would make everything else fine. We'd work, try and solve other problems and don't see eye to eye. But we could be like, hey, remember though, we both hate, I don't know,
I don't know.
poodles.
Velma.
That's right. I didn't need to make up an example. There is an example. And then progression happens. So that's my thing. You guys are lovely. I don't think that of you, of course. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mom Brain is on her way home, so she will be here, I promise. Kirby, yes? Have you found a treasure chest?
I have, but I can't.
No
get to-
key?
I can't get to the key
Yeah.
for some reason.
You, if you don't want to play, you don't have to. I don't want you to torture
Yeah, I
yourself.
might be stuck actually.
What you probably need is an instruction manual.
booklet. Yeah. You can just turn the switch off if you're done.
Yeah.
But thank you for trying. And again, thank you to who was it? Retsuza who put that in the chat, the video. I appreciate it. So if you watched the Super Bowl, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your team won. But no,
And if
regardless,
you live in Philadelphia, I don't care how much they greased up those telephone poles. I hope you got to the top.
man, those not surprisingly, those people went nuts. They were
Yeah.
nuts before the Super Bowl even happened. In excitement for the Super Bowl, I don't mind excitement for stuff. Don't get me wrong, but not setting fires, flipping cars excitement.
I mean,
Like,
that happens. That happens win or lose, though, too. That's what
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't.
we won, flip the car.
That's
We
one
lost,
thing
flip the car.
I think it's a
absolutely-
Philly thing. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
generalize all Philly fans, but I've
Hi, William George.
experienced and heard a lot of like horrible things. And
We'll talk after.
Nintendo likes the Phillies. Does she
She-
also like the
yes.
Eagles
Yes,
as well?
she
So
went out-
was probably
Go Birds.
in a fit state.
She was hyped up for the game. She was very upset that they lost. Yes, she's a big sports fan. Takes after my dad. But she's not out there flipping cars or anything. She watched it at a bar with her husband. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Speaking of Nintendo, great segue. Little Birdie told me she will be here on next week's show because she's been interested in talking to you guys about what she's been playing and other topics as well. So,
Nice.
there's that. I think that's it. I had other stuff, but
We gotta celebrate.
Let's get into news. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember anything that happened this week. Thank you to the news crew on the site this week because they picked up a lot of my slack because A, I didn't have internet, and B, if I did have internet, it was poopy, or C, I was trying to figure out what was wrong with the internet, so I didn't get to do nearly as much as I usually do. So thank you to, I don't want to name names, but I'm going to do it anyway. Thank you to Quentz because, again, he's fantastic. He's covering this. Oh, he was covering the site as of 40 minutes ago. Thank you to Zien Bashi, who picked up some slack. Who else? Thank you to JM, who picked up a lot of slack yesterday. JM, just mice. I really appreciate that because they came on when they didn't have to and did extra work because I was in a pickle.
because of the mice.
I got it. All
Um,
right. Yes, Nicky Hill?
That soundbite before that's Buddy, right? Buddy and Woods.
Buddy
is it?
Lembeck.
What are the?
Buddy and Woods.
Buddy,
I wanted to ask. I wanted to
from
ask
Soy
Buddy.
Tory.
I wanted to ask Buddy what his thoughts on the announcement of Toy Story 5. There's going to be a Toy Story 5. What do you think about
What?
that,
Yeah, tell us.
Buddy?
Outstanding.
Oh, he's excited.
Wow, I am impressed.
Anything else, buddy?
Now you are a real hero.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay.
For bringing it up. For bringing it
yeah,
up.
That's
yeah.
exactly what he meant.
Of course. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. That's funny, Pixar stuff, but we'll save that for the after.
Finally!
Thank you. Oh, yes. Great. Really quick note, because I know I've talked about wrestling a lot lately. By the way, Patreon people, I'm sorry I didn't post a post yet today because my internet. I will get one up today because I'm doing posts every day on Patreon. I apologize.
Excuses.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Wrestling. Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns tonight for the belt. The biggest storyline culmination in WWE that I can think of in the last 10 years. That Reddit has a virtual prayer circle going for him in the hopes that he wins. Good luck, Sammy. Man, what a story. I'm very excited for that. But anyway, let's do Nintendo news. I got to say, not blowing smoke, you are fantastic at the soundboard. I really mean that.
It probably helps because it causes me to speak less too, so it probably helps the audience. Go
But
with
it's
the
not
flow.
just that. Your comedic timing and your comedic choices are excellent.
I just wish I was faster. I want to get faster.
I'd say you're really good. XLN. So, first story. What do we got here? Tears of the Kingdom Switch. People have been like, we want a special edition OLED Switch for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sure that would sell very well. We've seen them for other for other game launches, including most recently Splatoon 3.
Who's saying this?
Pokemon Scarlet and
People.
Violet. People
People at Nintendo or
Top
people?
men.
Top man.
A lot of people are
was-
saying that.
Fans are saying they want this. And you may know that not that long ago, some apparent spy pictures of an OLED Switch for Tears of the Kingdom popped up online. But, they're from a rumored source. Doesn't like lawnmowers, I guess. They popped up from a rumored source,
Picking up?
and I'm looking. Yeah, a little bit.
It sure is boring around
just this little bit
here.
here. So the rumored images popped up, and as always, take them with a grain of salt. But then Nintendo showed off the collector's edition of Tears of the Kingdom, and fans noticed the leaked images that came out before and this official collector's edition from Nintendo share the exact same emblem.
Really?
Here you go. On the left is the leaked image from a Joy-Con. On the right is an official image from the collector's edition. Those are the same icon. So somehow, at the very least, someone knew that icon was going to be a part of the collector's edition. What's more likely? Somebody actually has a leaked picture of the Zelda stuff. So, listen.
Link are the hero.
I think it's a foregone conclusion that there will be a special Switch OLED for Tears of the Kingdom. It makes too much sense. Just Nintendo's not ready to announce it. And if you know Nintendo, which I'm sure you do, they usually stagger these things. It's like, here's a collector's edition. And a couple months later, they're like, and here's an OLED. And it, in typical Nintendo fashion, will not include Tears of the Kingdom and will probably come out a week before the game comes out. So, what are we in now? February, March, April. Maybe late March, early April. We'll hear about this. I don't know. But again, still rumored. But if there was a smoking gun,
No, we're in
this is it.
February. You're like, where are we? February, March, April. What is it?
Well, I was thinking like when they would actually announce it.
Yeah.
Kirby says that pretty much confirms it. We'll probably get a mini direct for Tears of the Kingdom specifically, and that's when pre-orders of Tears of the Kingdom OLED will go live. Well,
It's not gonna happen.
Kirby, I agree. I think you are spot on. I would be shocked if Nintendo didn't do a Tears of the Kingdom specific direct before the game comes out. I mean, I think that's another foregone conclusion. And if they don't, Nintendo better watch out because people are sending Nintendo death threats like this woman we're going to talk about now.
Oh dear.
This is something else, man. This was reported by the Japanese newspaper Kyoto Shimbun.
yeah.
Hell, death threats? Hell yeah. Or Josh, did you used to be like a bomb robot? Did you used to
Shout
defuse
out
bombs?
to my bro.
Wow, the bomb defusing community. Good for you, Josh. So Japanese authorities arrested a 36-year-old woman for sending a suspicious package to Nintendo. It had a bag of incense, and a few documents. The documents were the worrying part. I guess the incense was some sort of spell or something. Because the
Oh,
documents had
curse.
messages, a curse, yes.
Witchcraft.
The documents said things like, I'll kill you and die Nintendo. It was not revealed.
D Nintendo
Die,
D.
monster.
D Nintendo D. Yeah, that's right. German. We don't know who specifically at Nintendo she was sending them to. We do know they were going to an executive.
DD Mega Doody.
So yeah, we don't know what the motivation was, as in we don't know why she was so angry and was sending these to Nintendo. Maybe a Switch OLED that she wants and they haven't announced it.
Oh no, probably because of the Joy-Con drift.
Maybe. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? The police said specifically that the woman has, quote, no personal hatred, end quote. So she sent it to an executive at Nintendo with a death threat, but she's like, I just want the company to die, not to you. So I don't know. That's what the cops said. But
Is this Madam?
What's wrong with you?
Madam Sony, that's who it is. So yeah, we don't know who they were sent
this
to,
sort of
but
behavior towards Microsoft, but not Nintendo.
someone was very angry. Oh, Microsoft being raked over the coals this week for news we already know, and something one person on this podcast has been saying for years now. We'll get to that in a second. 8-Bit Lego says maybe she was just excited about the Direct and misunderstood that. Maybe that's it. Just like the guy last week. You're right. The Direct, the guy on a college campus told the professor to cancel class because something's happening. Professor thought it was a bomb, but it wasn't. It was a Nintendo Direct where many bombs were dropped. Yeah. Somebody's emailed their professor like cryptically, but as a joke, and was like, you have to move the test because there's something big going down Wednesday. Now, not surprisingly, the professor doesn't know what a Nintendo Direct is. And when the guy in the email never said anything about Nintendo, he's like, this is someone threatening.
Yeah.
I'm going to let the authorities know. And they did. And to their credit, the authorities figured out that this guy was talking about the Nintendo Direct because the times and dates lined up. The guy then apologized
really?
afterwards.
Like they just thought like
I don't know what their line to get there was, but they got to that eventually. So, and to their credit again, they got to that point before the Nintendo Direct happened. So they took care of it, and they still put more authorities on campus just in case. But the guy apologized, and whether I don't know why you know, if you're going to do a joke like that, which you shouldn't, you'd at least put Nintendo. Like talk about Nintendo in the email. Don't just. I can't imagine you're in college and you're like, I'm going to send a suspicious, vaguely worded.
Was the joke trying to be a fake bomb threat in a way by not saying Nintendo?
I don't
or
think-
was the joke we should cancel class because there's a Nintendo thing?
Yeah, in his head it was we should cancel class because there's a Nintendo thing,
okay.
but he never saw fit to mention the
That's
Nintendo
so
thing.
I don't buy that at all. Sorry, I don't. Like, why would you assume your professor knows Nintendo at all? Like, I don't-
Well, yeah, but I don't. I mean, you're right. I
knows
agree.
when they're having an
You're
event.
right. I agree with that. But I honestly think just some people get so caught up in their excitement that they don't think that far. Like I've had things where I've like made moves or done things and I see them one way and I never fathom them another way. And then when a poor situation plays out, I'm like, how did I not think this? This is so obvious. So I'll give the guy the benefit of the doubt here.
It's a big
but,
benefit. You're a real benefactor.
listen, he didn't have a bomb and he didn't and he apologized and he didn't get arrested. So
yeah, but that Nintendo Direct they announced and Metroid Prime remaster was released, so Nintendo dropped the bomb. And
that's what I said.
Oh, you did?
I did. I said Nintendo dropped multiple bombs. Yeah. So the guy was right to do what he did because there were
Good bombs
bombs.
and stinky bombs, I guess, right?
I mean, everybody watches a Direct and they all think some things stink and some are great. So yeah, I'm sure there's some stinky bombs in there. The thing I was talking about with another company was Microsoft and the quote unquote expose that came out where it's like Microsoft hasn't been truthful about Game Pass and it's hurting developers and sales of games overall. Like, yeah, we knew that. Just
I wouldn't have a problem.
it's a good deal. Like I said, I can't fault people for getting in on it because it's a good deal. But like, I was just amazed that that so many places on the internet were posting about this report because it came out through Microsoft's legal stuff through their Activision lawsuit trying to acquire Activision, and that was like in part of the lawsuit where Microsoft very plainly said Game Pass hurts game sales. Like they said it, and now Microsoft. Microsoft didn't expect for that to be discovered publicly. Hello, Mom Brain. And now that it's out there, Microsoft is trying to do the PR backpedal and be like, no, we didn't mean it like that. That's not what it means. Every case is different, is what they said. So they're like, whatever. But anyway, wrong. That's that. Mom Brain, how was your trip? Fruitful? You got your printer? Yeah. That's great. Gonna print up all kinds of, I don't know, stencils and coloring book pages. Yeah. So as we discussed at the start of the show, thanks to NickyHill, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are now on Switch Online.
Was that this week?
No, it was last week, but you discussed it this week.
I know, and you probably should have discussed it last week too.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
We did.
Moving on.
But the launch lineups were quite strong. Good games to pick from on both platforms, including ones I'm sure people have never played. So that's exciting. Now, of course, as soon as something happens, a few hours later, people are like, when's more? What's coming? When is the next drop? When's the next round of games coming out? Well, Nintendo has let people know. They don't know. Friend of the site, Stephen Totillo, who used to work at MTV, then worked at Kotaku, now works at Axios.
Stevie Totes.
Stevie Totes. I'm going to tweet him that now. Thanks for the info, Stevie Totes. He was one of the first people that reached out to me when I started GoNintendo because he was working at the MTV game blog back then. And he was very friendly, and he's remained a friend since then. So shout out to Stevie Totes, as I call him. He reached out to Nintendo and he's like, hey, Nintendo, you got a schedule for these games or what? And Nintendo said, quote, there's no set schedule for new releases. So we know some games that are coming, like
Links 1 and 2, Oracle and Ages and Seasons. Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
You got there, and you were exactly right at the end.
Thank you very much.
Give yourself the you deserve it.
I will. When I find it.
So yes, that's coming. Pokemon trading card game is coming. There you go. Golden Sun is coming. So we know those games are coming. We just do not know when. Usually with NES and Switch and N64 and Genesis, you get them monthly. There's a monthly cadence to them.
Not today. I've got my monthly.
It's Nintendo monthly. Nintendo's red. So yeah, it's basically you'll get them when you get them. And what are you gonna get? You won't know. It'll be like, here's what's coming, and you get it 2 days later. So
I realized the majority of the games that I had will probably not come to it because they're all like
licensed.
Yeah.
What did you? Fall of the Foot Clan could happen. That one could happen because Konami has gotten the rights to that again.
Well, they'd also never put any of the Ren and Stimpy games on there because they were terrible.
They were terrible. Still big fan of Ren and Stimpy, but I've never played a good Ren and Stimpy game.
But the Batman, the animated series,
very unlikely.
Yeah,
unfortunately, yes. I mean, look, they squashed the return of that animated series, which, well, I guess it worked out, huh? Because Kevin Conroy,
a man died.
That's it. It worked out.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, because they'd be I don't know. They'd get somebody to replace him that I'm sure would do a bad job. I don't know.
That was a joke, man.
Like I said, John DiMaggio
Bobcat Goldthwait
as Bruce Wayne. That would be amazing if he did it, but playing it like really trying to act and not doing his voice. Wow, that'd be incredible.
He doesn't do that anymore.
He can't.
Apparently, that was like a shtick. That was like a comedy thing.
And it took him far, and unfortunately, I'm sure for him and in his own mind, that's what he's still known for. So he's got to be like, I haven't done that in 15 years.
I heard him recently on Tim Heidecker's podcast. He talks a little bit about.
Excuse me, did you already cover Tentavision's very important news?
No. Oh,
you guys. What rules, you sons of bitches?
I got a cat. Oh, baby. Look
it
at
is
that cat.
A nice looking cat.
What's the cat? Oh, Uno. Great name, too. Great name.
Nice.
Great
Look
cat.
at the one under the tree.
I know.
That
was my favorite picture.
And Uno's got a thing on a string, it looks like.
All the cat staples are there. Thing on a string. Looking at a window, smelling the air, sleeping
held
under a
against
tree,
their will.
being held against their will. It's that's the Hello, Joe's cool. Quintessential cat collage right there.
It is. It really is. You've crossed all the cat things off your list.
Did we talk about our cat news?
I don't think so.
Would you like to?
Sure.
You're the cat lady.
Sure.
Sally, cover your ears.
Drum roll. You don't have to.
No, we can do that.
I would roll my tongue, but I can't.
Joy
to we are getting a cat.
Finally.
But it's a very
special circumstance.
It's a very fateful situation. So a few weeks ago, a very good friend of mine that I work with sent me a picture of this orange cat who happens to belong to the family of one of our school district families. Who also happens to have a family member who works in the school. So, kids go to the school.
About the cat.
And one of the members of the family, unfortunately, has been in need of a heart transplant for some time now. And
Hi, Freddy Fro.
things were up and down, and suddenly there was like a really stretch of like fantastic luck, and it looked like they were going to get the cat or get the heart very soon. And as a result of having the heart transplant, they found out that for health reasons, they can't own the cat anymore post transplant.
Toxoplasmosis.
So they needed to be able to rehome this cat who is 8, and her name is Piper. And so my friend reached out and said, "Hey, what do you guys, would you be interested?" And I figured raw meat wouldn't be ready yet because he hadn't been ready for another cat.
Listen, I don't want the cat, but I'm not so evil that I won't take a cat that needs to be rehomed for a man that is getting a new heart.
Right.
We didn't say the most important part. The man is getting the cat's heart, and the cat is getting the man's heart.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
So we were, as you can imagine, it's been difficult for the family to have to say goodbye to the cat, but obviously it's for a good reason. And so we were planning on this weekend, but on Valentine's Day, as luck would have it, the heart transplant was made. And so we're just kind of waiting for things to settle down so that we can arrange the pickup, and we'll have a cat.
So we're getting a cat. Nice. And I'm sure it will interrupt the show because that's what a good cat does. So, yeah.
She was raised in a house with a dog and children.
Oh, I didn't know there was a dog there.
Fantastic.
So maybe we could have dogs here.
Yeah, she's not like in love with the dog. She was there first. But she, I think, just kind of like avoids.
I wouldn't have a problem.
But she's okay around people for the most part.
Yeah.
I asked that too because I was like, we got people here pretty often and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but
there are
yes.
many children in the house. So they're used to.
Sorry.
I understand.
So
we'll keep you posted.
Nice.
You'll obviously see it on the podcast next time. Oh,
unless she
beautiful.
decides that she's going to hide somewhere and never come out.
I mean, that's fine with me. Super Chan. Meow. Super Sanchez says, we rehomed an orange cat that was bossing all my strays I feed. He doesn't even look like the same cat. Well,
Now you are a real hero.
we'll see how this one goes. That's our cat.
Orange cats are pretty well tempered, though, right?
I think that might be a myth.
That's an old wives'
Don't you know the
tale.
song? Well tempered. I know 2 orange cats. Garfield, not well tempered.
Heathcliff.
Terrorized the neighborhood. It's the complete opposite.
I believe also,
you name a good orange cat.
I believe most orange cats are male as well. So she's a bit of a.
Garfield,
What was wrong
better
with
orange
Garfield?
cat. Garfield's grumpy as hell.
Oh yeah, Morris.
He hates Odie.
Yeah,
Morris was a
grumpy,
good
but,
cat.
Like, it was just like, do what you got to do. I'm here.
No, what Garfield are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if you've
He
ever read
bosses
Garfield.
John around like crazy.
Mm.
Okay,
I guess.
what cat do you know that forces its owner to make it
Wrong.
lasagna all the time? And I was gonna say Garfield,
Morris.
better cartoon cat. Heathcliff, better cartoon theme song for a cat. Heathcliff's song is.
We're ready to
I love that
party.
song,
We're
but
ready.
Heathcliff's song is a
I
bop.
hope you bring lots of spaghetti.
That's a fun
Come
song,
on in,
but
come to the place where fun never ends.
Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Garfield and Friends.
Both had pretty good theme songs.
Was that
La
Garfield's?
Bamba.
Was that
Ay,
Garfield's first?
caramba.
Yeah, it's got
Is
that
somebody,
whole thing.
is somebody gonna
Yeah.
sing the Heathcliff song or no?
Heathcliff,
That's up to
Heathcliff,
you.
No
You're the
one
one-
should terrorize your neighborhood.
I mean, what is it, like Happy Days or something? Was it from the 50s?
No.
Come on.
All right,
We
now
need a
hold
little-
on a minute.
Garfield
Listen,
had a little sass.
listen, I don't even care if we get claimed because I'm not
Is
going to
Lionel
stand by
Orange
for.
Cat? From Thundercats?
Lionel? Yeah, Lionel, I guess, is an orange cat.
You
sure.
know, I feel like I might have had like a sexual awakening around Thundercats.
I mean, me and Chitara, so I get it.
I mean, I felt like it was both. I feel like perhaps it was Lionel and Chitara.
Nice. Did you ever see
And
that
Panthro.
episode where? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the episode where they're all like nude?
What?
Apparently
No.
that was in the pilot.
But I've seen
episode. I never
everything.
knew about this until
Oh,
recently.
Well, there's that one frame too where he holds the sword and it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That,
Is there like?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get to it.
I like the
quickly.
sound effects.
This is an amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode because I didn't like the vibe, but the song I've heard a bunch.
All right.
Yeah, you
So
got
much
it.
fun. So much fun.
It's good. It does.
What
have-
about what?
It
What
is
about
doo-wop era though.
what about reigning
Wasn't
supreme?
wrong
What was
about
that? What about what in the lyrics there?
Oh, it
was
says,
about
like,
reigning supreme.
The gang will reign supreme.
Ba, 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 ba.
Is
Oh,
that
boy.
what they say?
Yeah, it's the gang that lives in the dump.
Well, I
They
thought
eat
the
fish
lyric,
bones all the time.
I thought the lyric was terrorize
Me
the
too.
neighborhood,
So did
but
I.
it's
I said it.
terrify. That's
Yeah.
even scarier.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I think this song is pro gang violence.
Okay.
Heathcliff is pro gang. From one animal to the next. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic
Ooh.
Frontiers is doing extremely well. Apparently, it's selling much better than Sega even
No one
anticipated.
cares about me.
Last we heard, it's over 3 million units sold. But some Sonic fans are like, well, what about 2D Sonic? We want 2D Sonic. I would be one of those fans.
Never happy.
Yeah.
these
What about
Sonic
this?
fans.
You
what
know,
I'm
you
talking
just
about?
put out this game, and what we want, more of what we want.
Sonic fans are happy all the time. Come on, they're drawing pictures of Sonic's feet and
You're
Rouge's
too slow.
boobs, and they're
Excuse me,
living
you
a
have to-
dream.
Look at what alternate
Just this tweet with again over and over. Yeah. I get it. It's funny, but thank you. Did you read what Anastasia Bieber hasn't wrote? Because I say that to you all the time.
Oh yeah, we do. We say
Put
that.
those grippers away. That is related to Sonic. So anyway, 2D Sonic. What about it? Sonic Frontiers director Morio Kishimoto.
Mario.
Super Mario Brothers.
That's actually the correct pronunciation, Morio.
Super Mario Pobicho Brothers. Mr. Kishimoto was asked about this, and he says, well, in addition to 3D Sonic games, there are also side-scrolling Sonic games on the table, so please look forward to them. Now, on the table, being considered, in development now, who knows? But a little tidbit for those who like 2D Sonic. It certainly seems like, at the very least, they're being considered. So keep those fingers and gripper toes crossed. I like 3D Sonic, but I much prefer 2D Sonic because I'm an old man. But I also think Sonic works better in 2D. It's just me. At least from what we've seen. And I've enjoyed 3D Sonic games, but not to the degree that, like, Sonic Mania was fantastic. I loved Sonic Mania. King Broly says, as long as it's not Sonic Mania 2, Sega would be happy to mess things up. Yeah, I mean, even Sega didn't trust himself with a new 2D Sonic, which is why the other teams came. I applaud that. Like, if you know you don't got it anymore and you can't make a game like it used to be, then bring in people who know how to do that. So good for them. So there you go.
Oh my gosh. Super Sanchez posted a beautiful orange
The
cat,
name's the
Super
best.
but the name is the best. Habanero.
Oh my God, look at this cat. Beautiful.
Habanero is a great. I mean, what's a nickname?
Spicy.
You just Peppers.
Pepper, yeah.
Oh.
We decided
Caliente.
because he was angry. We decided that if Piper does a Toby across the carpet, we will call her Swiper.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do?
Or
You're the
pooper.
you're the most likely to have seen it. Did you see the TikTok of Finn totally leaving a skid mark, like a 3-foot long skid mark. It's just a picture of him, like, and then just you can see the skid mark on the floor. It was great. It's great.
Straight to the
Oh,
pooper.
Super Sanchez said we call him Hobby.
There you go. Hobby.
So cute.
All right.
And he's no longer angry. For the record.
This is Mom Brain. We're gonna have to quell the cat talk just for this story because this is going to be. I think this is going to be earth-shattering and devastating for the podcast crew. You're going to feel very angry about this.
Podcast is
As you remember,
My body is ready.
the Splatoon 3 Splatfest was underway.
Oh, gross. White chocolate did not
It
win.
was Team Milk Chocolate, Team Dark Chocolate, and Team White Chocolate. We have our winner by a clean sweep. Team White Chocolate
You gotta be
won.
kidding
You know why? Because
Not just a
Wrong.
like a 2-1 or anything. A clean sweep
that's
victory.
gross. I'm worried.
So I
For-
thought last week that the dark chocolate people were the freaks, as in they would get out there and fight to the death for this. But the white chocolate people were so tired of being stomped on and
It's
belittled
weird.
that they were like, this is our time to shine. And they clean swept it. The other teams couldn't even hold a candle to them.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know, I first of all, I don't care either way, but like, I thought milk chocolate would win, and
So did I.
and even if dark chocolate came in last, I was like, I would never think white chocolate would.
That's right.
What's funny
Anastasia
is
Beaverhausen's got it.
any other chocolate could have won, and I would have not cared. But this one wins, and it's like gross. Like
I was
like,
shocked.
Are they just voting a million times? I mean,
There's no voting. You play to win. You can't vote.
Oh, okay. Well,
So the most
who
passionate
cares then?
team was Team
So-
White. No,
well,
it's not
then
just.
so then it's not like they picked the team because they like that chocolate.
Yes, you pick the team and you represent that team. The players that picked Team White Chocolate were more passionate than Dark or Milk. They did it. So what happens is
gotcha. I
the
understand.
three teams, whatever I understand, whatever the three choices are,
understand.
you pick the team you're going to pledge your allegiance to, and then you fight tooth and nail for that team. And Team
Uh,
White Chocolate fought tooth and nail, literally swept the whole thing.
I think we
They
may
just
have a
wanted it
false
more.
read on this because Dre Gamer makes a point, and I'm guessing that is probably why people chose it
Oh no.
Where is it?
because the white ink looks a little
We
bit
can say jizz on this show.
like jizz.
No, maybe people. I'm sure there are people who picked it because the color white is unique and looked funny. Yes, I get that, but
Oh, it was so you shoot that color ink.
shoot
Well,
that jizz.
I
yeah.
would have picked white then too for the funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right?
now hold on a second.
Would you have sold out your soul?
Would you have really done that?
No.
Yeah, okay,
That was a
exactly.
bad
Now
joke.
I'm sure there are people who would have done that, but I still think what I really think is
that was a joke, man.
white chocolate fans were like, "This is our time to rise up and finally stake our claim," and they did it. They did it.
Doubtful. I think, to be honest, I bet you it's the X-rated. I know it's a joke that whoever made that comment, but in this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if that was it.
You really
You
think?
can argue that they wanted it more. I can argue that 12-year-old kids who play Splatoon are gross.
You really think that you think the majority of the team was made up by jizz fans rather than white chocolate fans?
yeah,
Majority of the team was made up by jizz fans rather than white chocolate fans.
yeah, because
All right.
Funny.
personally,
It's
if
funny
you had
fans.
to eat one, we're not going to go there. But
Having had
Oh boy, here
an
we go.
opportunity to be able to make an informed choice here, I
As a connoisseur,
don't think I would choose white chocolate. I hate it that much.
you really hate white chocolate that much?
I really dislike it.
That's overkill.
Well, can you say that you can also make an informed
I
decision?
guess I can't. That's
exactly.
true.
I wonder, do they have the stats as to how many players were on each team? Like, would that make a difference if one team was stacked with more people? Or?
Well, it's not based on people because it'll still be 4v4 or whatever the turf battles are. So 4v4v4. It's not like
2v,
because there's a
3v,
bit. It could be a
2v.
huge player base. Let's say a ton more people picked white chocolate, but they could suck, and dark chocolate could be a smaller player base with amazing players. But I really think listen. I'll concede the jizz point. Maybe that wooed people, but I really think it's the passion for white chocolate. I hope Nintendo. I hope you're listening to this conversation. I'm going to snip this part and send it to my
I bet
Nintendo
you'll
rep.
snip it.
I mean, there's a problem in that. If that many people love white chocolate,
Hi, Arcade Token.
Ooh.
I question it. But if that many people love white chocolate that much that they play a video game harder to win, like I don't
That's
know.
the whole point of these Splatfests, to ride or die for the team you
Splatfest.
pick.
Come on.
That's the whole point.
Anastasia Beaverhausen
Listen,
has been
don't get on my
browbeaten by
team.
us.
Yeah. Don't get on my team if you're not going to play passionately for the team. I don't want you on my team.
This is why I don't play the WWE games, because I feel too invested in my character and I can't lose because I feel like I've let them down.
Eileen Tom says, I think I know what this podcast illustration is going to be about this week. Have fun, Crazy Colonel. Team Buk. That's right. Eileen Tom says, hashtag Team Bukaki. Listen.
Don't get too cocky.
I can post what. Oh, very good. Don't get boo-cocky.
Nice.
I can post whatever I want. Okay. Okay.
Don't relax. We're not done yet.
So there you go. Team White Chocolate in a surprise win. Congrats to Team White Chocolate. Never in a million years would I have thought that would be the victor, but they did it.
It's a dark day.
Oh my
Or
God.
should I say it's a white day?
It is a light day. Do you hear that? I think I hear something.
I wonder what it is that
Is
you
it a
hear.
lawnmower?
Hey,
George?
be quiet. I think I hear something.
Do you hear something, George?
Yeah, George.
George? I don't hear it. I think Josh hears something.
Lime PD. Lime PD.
I think Josh hears something. Josh.
Boring. Hey, be quiet. I think I hear something. NPD, 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 NPD. Is that what I sound like? Sorry, I wasn't
That's
listening.
okay, Josh. I understand. You're probably thinking about white chocolate. We have our MPD for January
yeah.
2023. As usual, we have your top 20 games. This is North America. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the United States, January, and it's all platforms. We're looking for entries in the top 20. We will do it how we did it last time, starting with NickyHill.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, bro. Number 1. Very good. Mom Brain, you are next. Remember, a wrong answer eliminates yourself. Do not
Pokemon.
answer wrong on purpose.
Violet.
Yes, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, number 10.
This is
Kirby.
January?
This is January.
Year
Year of our Lord 2023.
Earring Eldenar.
E-Ring Elden R, number 6. Yes. Two.
God of War.
God of War, number 8. Yes.
Um,
Dad grown because he's a dad.
GTA
in God of
5.
War.
GTA 5. Nikki Hill, I'm so sorry. You have been eliminated.
Don't be sorry.
Is
Is that
that
what I sound like?
Mom Brain. I think I have 2 of them on there, and one
Know
of
what
them
I mean?
is higher quality.
Yes.
There you go.
That was a little better.
Did we do Kirby?
Wait, Kirby was not guessed.
Kirby.
I'm sorry, Mom Brain. You have been eliminated.
No.
Kirby.
Wrong.
FIFA.
FIFA is number 4. Kirby, you're still in.
Gran Turismo.
Gran
No.
Turismo. I'm so sorry. You're out, dude. That leaves you as the winner, Kirby. You don't have to
Oh.
defeat anybody. You win. It's over. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. You missed number 2, which is Dead Space, the remake of Dead Space.
Oh, that's out already?
Yeah. You missed number
I didn't
3,
know that either.
Madden. You missed number 5, Fire Emblem Engage. Remember, this is a Nintendo
Is that-
title, and when it comes to NPD, Nintendo does not report digital numbers.
What is
So
that
Fire
system
Emblem
on?
Engage is number 5 based on physical sales only. What is what?
That's on Switch?
Fire Emblem Engage? Yeah. What other system would it be on?
I'd say system, but I thought maybe that for some reason I thought that was on like cell phones or something.
That is Fire Emblem Heroes.
Only on the Nokia Engage.
Oh, I
Is it-
got
is
you.
it
I
N-
got you.
Was it Nokia
You're
No-
right.
yeah.
You're
Nokia?
right. Yeah.
or Nokia?
Nokia.
Nokia.
Nokia?
Nokia.
Nokia.
Best Buy.
Best Buy. You missed number 7, Forspoken. You missed number 9, One Piece Odyssey. You missed number 11, The Last of Us Part 1, no doubt bolstered by better PS5 stock and the
They made a game
HBO
about
show.
that?
They did, yeah. They turned the show into a game.
That was fast.
Number 12, Sonic Frontiers. Number 13, Monster Hunter Rise. Number 14, Mario Kart 8. Number 15, Minecraft. Number 16, Need for Speed Unbound. Number 17, Just Dance 2023. Number 18, NBA 2K23. Number 19, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. More evidence of PS5 stock being plentiful.
That is a long title.
And number 20, NHL 23. Switch was the number 2 system, obviously, because PS5 stock is rocking. So PS5 was number 1. There's your NPD, people. Hardware sales were flat year on year. Software sales were down 5%. And total spending overall was down 5%. There you go. Big title last year was Pokemon Legends Arceus. And that helped bolster sales in a big way. But not this time. Next month should be pretty huge because we'll have Harry Potter, and that's selling incredibly well. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Like I said, I was out of it this week, and I wrote this story, and I was like, I don't even remember writing this. Switch Online now has Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, so that means there's the potential for classic Pokemon games to come over, like Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Red and Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon whatever, all those. And as you probably know, Pokemon Stadium is already available for the Nintendo 64 collection, but one of the major selling points of Pokemon Stadium was you could connect your Game Boy Pokemon game and bring your Pokemon into the N64 game. Can't do that here because there were no Game Boy games. And Nintendo included a line in the original trailer saying...
a lime?
A lime, that's right. Letting players know that they couldn't transfer Pokemon into Pokemon Stadium because the games weren't there and it wasn't set up for Pokemon Home, blah, 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 blah. Well, as Nintendo always does when they put out new retro system content on the Switch Online service, they put out a new trailer to promote it. And eagle-eyed fans noticed something. When it gets to the Pokemon Stadium stuff, that one line has been removed. No longer is there a disclaimer saying players can't transfer Pokemon into Pokemon Stadium. Why remove that line? It's almost like they're planning to bring classic Pokemon games to the Game Boy and the GBA and then letting you connect to Pokemon Stadium and add your Pokemon to it. So what people have desperately wanted, and we're sad to see not included, could potentially be on the way. Because, like I said, why would Nintendo go in and remove that line specifically in a trailer? So something's going on there. So keep your fingers and toes crossed. Kirby says, hopefully that's the case. And they also add Pokemon Home support. Yeah, maybe. It would be easier to transfer that way, I'm sure. We have a story about Mr. Grubb. Grubb was vindicated, finally.
I'm preparing myself to forgive.
Vindicated because Metroid Prime Remastered A did exist. B is now available. And if you might remember, Mr. Grubb said that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 would also come to the Switch, just not remastered. It'd be, higher resolution, but not a full-on remaster like this is. And that rumor has popped up again because they're like, oh my God, Grubb was right about Metroid Prime Remastered. And at that same time, he said 2 and 3 were coming as well. So it could be happening. Again, I need to stress, not a remaster, just... You angry about that? Not a remaster, just re-releasing these titles in a higher resolution. So think anything on the Switch Online N64 collection, akin to that.
I wonder if what they would charge, and if they would both be like on the same, as a package deal, or if they would be individual.
Good questions all around, because you would think if Metroid Prime Remastered is $40, you could not charge $40 for one of those Metroid Prime 2 or 3 individually if you're not remastering them. So maybe both of them together, $40. That makes sense. 2 and 3 for $40. Yeah.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
I can't imagine it would be the same price because that would make 0 sense. 2 games not remastered, 1 game fully rebuilt.
0 cents. It would make $40 per game cartridge.
Nice. Very good. So we'll see what happens, guys. 8-Bit Lego says, I wonder what he will shave if he's wrong this time. Joking aside, I hope these graphically are at least relatively close to the new remaster's quality, and as it is really quite impressive. Deux will be talking about that game.
That's what's
later.
hard for me. Like, I'm apprehensive because I have the trilogy, and I can still play that, and I can still play that on the Wii U. And I never played Prime 2 or Corruption, and I'm like, I don't know if I would go and play the remaster and then try to go back to play something that, like, you know, it's harder for me to look at or like whatever.
Yeah,
You're living his life word for word.
And so if they're going to release 2 and 3 that are not remastered, it's like,
They aren't remastered, but they will be up-res, so they will look better. It's just not redone texture work or anything like that. I would imagine they'll also add in controls too. But
well, the fact that you haven't played the Metroid Prime remaster and you're not going to, you know, that helps if you were going to play 2 and 3 when they're.
Well, I mean, it would just make it easier for me to play it on the Switch because then I don't have to like break out the sensor bar.
No,
which
yeah,
is
no,
not
I'm
that
saying you can still get
but-
them when they come out on the
Right.
Switch.
Oh.
But you just won't play the first
This
one, so
first
you
one.
wouldn't know any different.
But I do know what it felt like to play on the Wii. It felt great. So, like, I liked the controls on the Wii, I believe. When I played,
Oh yeah,
when
yeah,
I
'cause
played 1,
That's right.
the pointer controls, yeah.
So
Well, they could probably though. Well, who knows if they're going to implement it into 2? It's a part of 3.
I think it's a 3 they would have to because the game wouldn't play. I mean, you could do traditional controls, but that game was built for motion controls.
Yeah.
So. 2, who knows? We'll find out.
What did they do with Skyward Sword? Excuse me.
You play
Still
motion
motion
controls in
controls?
Skyward Sword, but it has traditional controls as well.
Did Skyward Sword have any like IR sensor stuff, pointer stuff? It had to have, right?
Yeah, it has it all.
And so what is it? What? How do
fake
they do
it
that?
on the Joy-Con?
They
You have to recenter your Joy-Con a lot more, but honestly, I played it like that. It felt great. I thought it wasn't as good as, you know, it was built for the Wiimote, so that works better, but it felt great.
It was definitely the best of the versions I've played with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Super Mario Galaxy on the Switch is a little rough for me with that pointer, and then I'll talk about it a little later. But the Metroid Prime, I gave it a good, you know, college try, and I preferred the dual joystick. But
I think like out of all of them, they really put a lot of time into Skyward Sword because I mean, that's really ground up. Like you need, like Galaxy. Don't get me wrong, the pointer's there. You shoot stars and grab them, which is great, and I love that. But it's not like, you know, a major
it's not
feature.
the core of the game.
Yeah, whereas Skyward Sword, that's the whole game. So
And what company did the remaster here?
a whole bunch of companies, but Retro and Nintendo worked on it.
Rare's been
There's
doing
a
it?
third company that's not Iron Galaxy, who's worked on a whole bunch of Switch ports. So
If there was going to be a game, like you'd say Iron Galaxy, I'd be like, that's a game company. I don't know, something about that
I'm
name.
pretty
it's just
sure
like,
that's who
boom.
it is. No, you're right. It sounds like a game company.
Is this what Retro was working on, or they're working on?
They're working on Prime 4 as well.
They are, okay.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, they are the lead developer on that.
Yeah.
But you know, you can break off. Geez, it's probably like 15 people to help out with this remaster. They're not doing a heavy lifting. They're just like, this was our intention when we made the game, and this shouldn't be like this. Just stuff like that. Plus, you know, who the hell's still at Retro that was there when Prime originally came out? There's a few people, but largely they're gone. So, moving on. We also have the European hardware sales and software sales for January 2023.
FIFA
Again.
Moving on.
Switch was number 2 in Europe as well. PS5 was number 1.
Oh, hardware.
FIFA
FIFA hardware?
We have software. Don't worry. To put things in perspective, PS5 stock is normal now. You can go into a store pretty easily and get a PS5. And in Europe, we saw that as percentages went up 202%.
Playing the percentages.
All right. So now
Numbers.
we are looking for Europe's top 20 in January. This is all systems. And Deux, we'll start with you this time.
E-Ring, Elden R.
Yes, number 10. Gave yourself applause before it. That's great. Kirby.
Pokemon Scarlet.
Pokemon Scarlet, he says.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I'll check again. But Pokemon Violet's on here. They're one and the same. Yeah, you get it.
You know what I meant.
Mom Brain? You okay over there?
Category? Yeah.
January 2023, Europe, all games. All platforms, I should say.
Minecraft?
Minecraft. She goes for the Minecraft. Minecraft, number 18, yes. Remember, that's only the Switch version. Always in there. Nicky Hill.
I said FIFA. Thank you, everyone, for not saying it.
FIFA, yes, number 1. Very good. This man knows his Europe. All right, Deux, back to you.
God of War.
God of War, yes, number 5. Kirby, you're up.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Always a safe bet, yes.
Wow,
And somehow,
I'm
yet again,
impressed.
number 8. Number 8. Mom Brain.
Have we said Call of Duty, bro?
Has anybody said Call of Duty? No, they haven't.
Okay, then I am.
Yes, number 4. Very good.
Don't be a sweaty. Be a go get
I'm
it. Call
not
of
going to get the
Duty,
name
bro.
right, but there's like an F1 racing game.
There was an F1 racing game, so you're guessing F1.
Sure, if that's what it is.
Nicky Hill, I'm so sorry. That was a
Wrong.
solid guess, but no. It's more particularly popular in the UK. Not enough to appear for all of Europe. I'm so sorry. You're out. Deux.
Gran Turismo again.
He's going for Gran Turismo again.
What are you thinking?
I'm so sorry. No
Wrong.
Gran Turismo. Wrong. You're out. Kirby.
Uh,
And Kirby win back to back. He's still fighting Mom Brain.
But I've seen everything.
I'm sorry. Did anyone say FIFA yet?
FIFA was said. Yes.
Okay.
I would say no pressure, but there's a ton of pressure.
The fate of the world is.
Not gonna lie, I'm sweating a little bit.
Rat Hat Redemption.
Red
Ooh.
Dead Redemption number 2, he guesses, and he is correct. Number 3. Mom Brain, to you. This is getting intense.
One of the Lego. It's Star Wars or Harry Potter.
You're going a generic Lego guess.
Yeah.
Well, she said it.
Mom Brain, I'm so sorry.
What?
Kirby, you have done it again. A back-to-back win. Dominated.
I feel like Lego Star Wars was so high on the list the last time that it's for it to be gone.
It's not on there.
Flash in the pan. Flash in the pan.
Flash in the pan for like months.
And then Harry Potter
Slow
came out.
burn.
So now everybody's onto that.
Harry Potter was not out for this. This is January. Just
Wrong.
Lego is not here. You guys
Do
missed.
I have to be?
Nobody said God of War
Horizon.
Ragnarok this time, right?
He said
I did.
God of
Oh, did
War.
you? Okay. Dead Space, you didn't say, which was also on the last list.
Again.
Nintendo Switch Sports, which you guys never guess. NBA
Well,
2K23.
Can't blame us.
I can. Forspoken, which was also on the last list. You didn't guess. Fire Emblem Engage, which was also on the last list. You didn't guess.
Sounds like he's scolding us, doesn't it?
No, I'm just saying they were on the last
Lord.
list. Here's one.
Aye.
Civilization
He's
6.
the only one that likes this because he gets to be
You
the
know what?
Alex Trebek. Well, guess what? I'd be just as happy reading the if I knew the answers in the hand.
I know he's the one that
If I knew the
generally.
answers in the hand. You can't.
I know he's the one that generally posts this stuff, so he's reading it constantly. But I think next month we all sit quiet and he goes through the entire list and he can't miss one. He's not
Yeah,
allowed.
how about that?
I
Can't
never
miss one.
said you can't miss one. My issue was
No,
with you guys.
if you miss, you're out, and you're the only one. So
my
you
issue
can't
was
miss.
with you guys missing the games that were on the other list. You just there's like the usual suspects.
First spoken. What is that?
was like an
It's not
hour
even a
ago.
game.
Square
I've never even heard of
Enix,
it before.
Brand new IP. Magic Parkour. Sid Meier's Civilization
What
6.
about Horizon? Was that on that one?
Nobody guessed Grand Theft Auto. One Piece
Not
was on
even
the last
close.
list. Just the regular God of War was on this list. Surprising. It Takes
Okay,
Two
we're
was number
sorry.
19. No, I said surprising. That's good. And Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege rounded out the top 20.
Wow.
I know. I'm just a surprise. There you go, everybody. What do you people said? Guybone says, impressive Switch Sports is in there. I've wanted to try the volleyball, but haven't heard good things about it. I liked volleyball. Not my favorite, but I liked it. My favorite sport still eludes a good gaming adaptation. I guess he means volleyball. Yeah, I get. Well, come on, Dead or Alive beach volleyball. What? There's a lot of volleyballs in that game. Am I right? Am I right, people?
But I've seen everything.
How many? Oh, okay, we're getting there. We're gonna. I'm gonna just
correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone's alive in that game, right?
In what game?
Is that Dead or Alive beach volleyball?
Yes, everyone is dead or alive. You're playing volleyball. Splatoon 3 expansion pass wave 1 comes out February 28th. That's all you need to know. We were wondering when it came out. Now you know, February 28th. Wave 1 of 2 DLC. This one brings back Inkopolis. And the fresh season for Splatoon 3 starts March 1st, and it's gonna have new weapons and all kinds of new stuff. But remember, fresh season is just a new season. That's free. The waves are paid.
Something about the way you said weapons made me think of that parrot Shrock.
Who's this? Shrock. North America. What do we got? I'll tell you.
Brockhorn.
Big release. Big releases. Cantaloupe. Carrot. Big releases this time, guys. What's new in North America? Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line is available. Tales of Symphonia Remastered. Digimon World Next Order. 4x4 Off-Road Driver 2. Aka R. Aka R is an old Atari game that never got released. They did a prototype and they tested it and they decided not to release it. Now, Jeff Minter, a legendary game developer, has taken this project on.
Minty.
And
to his friends
and updated it, and it will be seeing its first ever official release. Pretty cool. Animal Puzzle World, Arcade Archives Magical Speed, Axis Football 2023, Big Adventure Trip to Europe, Chess Maiden, Cyber Heroes Arena DX. Oh boy. Deep Space Action Fire Sci-Fi Game 2023 Shooter Strike Simulator Alien Death Ultimate Games.
Is that
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
one
Yeah,
title?
they're just spamming, eShop terms, so their game's going to come up. Detective Agency Gray Tie Collector's Edition. Dr. Smart Space Adventure.
Shut up. I don't care.
Dust and Neon, another big one. Elderend, which looks interesting. Falling Elevator.
You mean Elden Ring?
No.
Oh.
This is Elder nothing. Falling Elevator Hyper Casual Demolish Escape Survival Game. Geometric Sniper Blood in Paris. Gigantosaurus Dino Kart. Gigantor the Space Age Robot. What's the next line? He's your command. There you go. Hair Salon, Cool Stories. Hopping Girl, Kohane, EX. I am an air traffic controller, Airport Hero Haneda. Sorry.
What's an airport hero?
What? Air traffic controller, Airport Hero. They're the hero of the airport. They land the planes. They tell them where to go and when to come in.
I didn't hear the air traffic controller.
You are a real hero.
The heroes of the airport.
You, Link, are the hero.
Lucy's Portager? Sure. MLB The Show 23 Tech Test. If you want to see how MLB The Show is shaping up before it releases, get in on this free tech test.
Hell yeah.
Montezuma, big baseball fan, Josh?
Hell yeah.
Didn't know that. Montezuma's Revenge 8-Bit Edition. Mosaic Chronicles Deluxe. My Lovely Pets Collector's Edition. Ninja Jajumaru.
Sure, what's up?
You know that? From that WiiWare song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same franchise. Yep.
Oh, man. That's great.
This is Ninja Jajumaru, The Lost RPG.
How does that fit into the song?
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
He says Ninja Jajumaru-kan in one of them.
Cool.
It fits in by him saying the name.
It fits in perfect.
Nonstop Space Probe. Sounds great. Parents versus Kids. Tell me about it. Piano. Learn and play.
Did you share with everyone your saga of getting your father
Oh my God, what a great story! I'll save it for what I'll do it before what we play. Pixel Line 2 Into the Puzzleverse. Thank you, Dad. Prison Tycoon under new management. Prisma Puzzle Prime. Puzzle by Nikolai S. Hashiwa. Red Bird Adventure. Classic Physics Puzzle. Rise of Fox Hero. Rooftop Renegade.
Not much out this week.
Seventh Layer. Silver Falls Ghoul Busters. Sniper Strike 3D. Secret Elite Mission Warfare. Ghost Squad. Tamakannon. The Legend of Quinn. Twice Reborn, a vampire visual novel. Verdict, Guilty.
Whoa.
And Warp, that's W period, A period, R period, P period. What does it stand for? I don't know. Wanna anal roleplay?
My dude.
There you go.
Megadoodoo.
Guybone says, finally, Deep Space Action Fire Sci-Fi Game 2022 Shooter Strike Simulator Alien Death Ultimate Games was starting to get boring. Yeah, time for the new one. Thankfully, somebody out there gets it. Josh?
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
What do I do?
You do whatever you want. It's your segment, baby.
I got really.
Is that what I sound like?
Oh my God. Sorry. So the European releases for the week of February 16th, the year of our Lord 2023. Can you believe it? So much time has passed. It's not. I don't feel like it's as long of a list as America or as the U.S. But we'll just get into it. Big Adventure.
Moving on.
Big Adventure Trip to Europe 2 Collector's Edition. Blanc.
I got exciting news about that coming later.
Chess Maiden. Dust and Neon. Ainsword.
I think that's Ein, but I'm not sure.
Ein's Sword. Eldorand.
I understand.
Geometric Sniper. Blood in Paris. Go Pogo Girl. Blood in Paris. Go Pogo Girl. Hopping Girl. Kohane X.
We got a rivalry here.
Yeah,
Pogo Girl and Hopping Girl.
Legion of Doom.
We are the Legion.
Little Red Riding Hood interactive book. Looking for aliens.
That's here in America lately. Am I right, guys?
You know, it's funny.
You should tell your story about the other night.
I did. I found him. Yeah, he landed here. That's true. I never even thought of that.
Because of
He was visited by all these aliens, and he was right here.
All the alien stuff that's going on, and I saw like a list of like top. Whoa, nice catch! Top like alien themed movies or whatever. I was like, man, we're just
Cowboys and Aliens.
Great sound effect.
Probably.
Could you imagine? Could you Cowboys and Aliens?
I mean, really? Though. Could you imagine? Lucy's Porringer.
You may not have to imagine.
Montezuma's Revenge 8-bit edition.
NickyHill and I are prepared. You guys aren't. So, I mean,
you're prepared, yeah. You know, there's Vikings and aliens, guys. Sue and I found that out a couple weeks ago.
Outlander, it's called.
To watch about Vikings and aliens.
Oh, really?
Actually, the only reason we didn't watch it is because we usually keep them to 90 minutes, and I think it was like 2 hours.
Oh,
or something.
movie.
We were like,
no, it's not a movie. It's a documentary.
I thought you meant
documentary.
I thought you meant the Outlander series, and I was like, isn't that like?
No, there's no. Well, there
that's
are Vikings.
time traveling
kind of.
and sex.
All right, that's not like.
And she stops herself because she knows it's true.
Enjoy
my 1820s
But it's not like
penis in your
gratuitous.
1940s anus.
I think
No,
I'll
it's
land
beautiful
in
and
her.
romantic.
She's like, what'd you say?
I said, Outlander, I think I'll land in her.
Sure, why not?
I'm sorry.
I have spoken.
My
sorry.
my lovely pets collector's edition.
Woo, that's good.
You know, it takes place in Scotland. In case there was something on that soundboard that you wanted to.
Is there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't
Towards
remember
the
what
right.
it is.
Bless me.
Oh, there we go. That's right. Acme Duty.
End paint. Paint. Overshoot battle race. Pocket Witch. Prisma Puzzle Prime. Psychophonies. What Ghosts Say. Ragdoll Rage. Heroes Arena. Silver Fall. There's a lot of colons in this one. Not in the game, but in this list.
He means in the list. There are a lot of colons.
Silver Falls, Ghoul Busters, Souls of Kronos,
the sequel to Souls of Jonas,
and Photosoulis.
Speed Gunner Ultra, Spy Bros, Tales of Symphonia Remastered, 10 Dates. Bad Dates.
That's a full motion video game sequel to 5 Dates, the award-winning 5 Dates, and all I've heard is the sequel is even better.
That's
Even
a
more
shame.
dates.
What's the outcome of the first game? I guess they didn't go well.
It wasn't a love connection.
I haven't listened this time.
out here.
Hey, go on 10 dates.
Yeah, double my chances.
Oh, this isn't about dating. It's about the food.
Intercourse. Oh.
10 dates. I'm really hungry.
I'm still hungry.
I'm really hungry. I could go for about
5
10
dates. 5 dates didn't really do it. I'm gonna need at least another 10.
dates and 10 more dates.
Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, The Dwarf Kingdom, Magic World of War vs. Orcs and Dragon, The Legend of Gwen, Verdict Guilty, Warp, Want an Anal Roleplay? I think it's what it
Would
is.
aliens really probe? And I'm very excited to hear how you read this one.
Human Driver. Human Driver. Human Driver.
Why?
Human Driver.
YOUMANDRIVER, all one word. So I guess it's supposed to be human
Man,
driver, but human driver.
Woman, camera, TV.
Thank you, Nicky Hill. It's great to have our official European
and
man
our
back.
Top comment or first comment is from Guy Bones and says Blanc looks like the star of the show. Great art style.
Well, great art style is correct. As I said last week, I told you all about my time with Blanc, and this week, as promised, when I promised, I wrote my review for Blanc, which you can read. I guess since we're talking about it, I'll just mention it now. Gearbox, who developed, I believe, or co-developed and published that game.
Really?
It is Gearbox for sure.
What else have they done? Because that name's
Borderlands.
Wow, that's a different game.
I know. That's why I said I co-developed. I'm not sure if they solely developed, but anyway, I was very honest in my review as always. So positives and negatives, but Gearbox liked it enough to reach out and say they want to use some of my review in an accolades trailer. So keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited. I'm honored. They asked me if it was okay. Some companies don't even ask, but they were nice enough to ask. So yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to a trailer with what's in my review. You could just read the review. I already talked about that. Okay, we're done. The Super Mario Brothers movie is going to be 92 minutes long. Now you know. So a tight 1 hour and a half. It's good. It's a good length.
I feel like there's a lot of content that they're going to shove in there.
Oh, you've expressed this before. So you want it to be 3 hours? Or
At
what?
least. No,
I don't want anything longer than
No,
90
I mean,
minutes.
it can't be.
come on.
90 minutes seems right.
Especially with like they're,
It's a
they're
Mario
definitely gearing it towards children and families, not
Yes.
necessarily
Yeah.
families with children. So
You want a tight 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
so
good.
they're going the YouTube Shorts route.
That's right. It'll be I don't know what the limit is on those, 3 minutes or something like that. But anyway, there you go. 1 hour and 32 minutes. Now you know this comes from the Irish Film Classification Office, so they've seen the movie. If you want some reference, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Encanto were 1 hour and 40 minutes and 1 hour and 42 minutes, respectively. The original Toy Story was. Oh, this is great. Anybody want to guess how long Toy Story was? The first Toy Story?
80 minutes.
80 minutes. No other guesses. You win.
95 minutes.
95 minutes. You win, Deux. Still, it was 1 hour and 17 minutes. So not even 80 minutes.
Man.
Lion King 1 hour 20. Shrek is 1 hour 30 exactly. There you go. Guybon says good, tight runtime, product of animation, but also helps when the subject matter might not have the most story to go with it. It's funny that it says product of animation, as in animation is very expensive. So you keep the running time tight. Michael's just watched a movie where the budget on animation was very low, but it was longer than
they were able to make a. How long would you say it was? 8-9 hours.
It's 1 hour 40 something.
Oh my god! Longest movie. I told RMC I sat through all of the extended editions of Lord of the Rings multiple times. That's 12 hours. This movie I watched yesterday was longer than that.
Well, that's the
Oh my
thing. Like,
God.
you're like a movie on one of your favorite topics versus a movie that you didn't like at all. So of course it feels long.
I have to say, I almost quit with 30 minutes left, but I decided to watch the rest, and I'm glad that I did. The end was the best part, but it wasn't worth. Yeah.
Was it Invincibles 2?
No, I sent them the same thing I sent you. The cat movie.
The Cat Returns.
The Magical Railroad or whatever it's called.
I didn't even look at that link. I apologize. What
I've done
I thought
it before.
that was a trailer.
Shovel Happens. It was, but I also said in that same thing, the movie is on YouTube for free. Dubbed.
Oh, so you watched the full?
Yeah,
I
you
watched
watched
the
the
whole
full
movie.
movie.
The Cat
Yeah.
Returns.
How long was
Oh, yeah,
that trailer? 8-9 hours? No, what's the name of it? Mystical Train.
You know, that's
Night of the Galactic Railroad. Night
That
of the
sounds
Galactic
exactly
Railroad.
right. That sounds exactly
called.
right.
That's
Kirby, you've heard of everything. Have you heard of
Ghibli,
this?
right? Or Ghibli?
No, it's
Wait, is this an anime?
yeah.
And so what's the actual title?
Night of the Galactic Railroad. I think that's the exact name.
Does it have any like alternate titles?
It does, yes.
Okay, maybe I've heard of one of
Night
those.
on the Galactic Railroad. It has an alternate title, and I don't remember what it is. There's a thumbnail for the trailer.
Choo Choo
You know,
Train Kitty.
I thought to myself, if anybody's going to have some point of contact with it, it would be you.
Well, no, I do remember watching some like older anime film. It might have been from like the 70s or 80s.
This is
about like a
85,
train in
right?
space.
I mean, that's
That's
what
gotta
this is
be it.
about. It's his
With
1985, yeah.
But I don't remember a cat though.
Yeah, the main character is a cat, and the supporting character is a cat, and
Okay.
everybody in town is a cat.
They're like anthropomorphic
Oh,
yeah.
cats.
I'm thinking of something different. Then.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Italian
It's not like, you know, meow meow run around
anthropomorphic
cats. It's
cats.
humans that look like cats.
No, I don't think I've actually seen this one.
Well, you know, we're done with news, so I can talk about it a little bit. A TikTok came up, and it was just somebody who had edited. This is really funny. I never told you this. I told you I saw it on TikTok, though, right? I mentioned that's
You
where I
didn't
found
say
out
this
about
was
this
on
movie.
Oh, the
YouTube?
movie. I believe you did in one of the.
I must. If I didn't say it there, I said it in.
Do I have
another
Tubi?
text.
I just thought it was a trailer. I thought it was something new, but this is Retro Crush, so it must have been something
1985. I saw it on TikTok, and oddly enough, so I saw it, and I liked it just intrigued me. But oddly enough, it was using a song from Undertale along with it, and I was like, oh, I
that's
guess I
how they
should check
get
this
ya.
out. But anyway, very quickly, Night on the Galactic Railroad came out in 1985, animated movie. It is an adaptation of a short story from like 1923 or something, an unfinished short story from 1923. Not so short, right, Deux? It
Yeah, can you imagine if he finished it? How long the movie would have been?
apparently the author in Japan is incredibly prolific. Like anybody who makes anime or like entertainment, like games in general, like kids in school in Japan read this author, and like everybody knows who this author is. So he's like our, I don't know. Give us an
Ernest
an
Borgnine.
American author.
Oh, Hemingway.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, thank you. Yeah, he's our Ernest Borgnine, famous author Ernest Borgnine.
I masturbate a lot.
When I'm not writing books, I'm masturbating a lot.
I'm sorry. Just to interject, the movie I was thinking of was apparently called Galaxy Express 999.
I've seen that, and I
Oh.
didn't think of it. I completely forgot all about that.
Is the same guy responsible for both of these?
Let's
movies?
find out together, Kirby. I don't know, because that was back in my day when it was like, you know, I caught anime on Sci-Fi, whatever they were showing.
Yeah,
Apparently,
that's
this
probably
was
where I saw
also they made a play of it. You could go see the play.
Okay.
But I've seen everything.
Oh my God, he's done so much. The number is 999, right?
Yes.
Numbers.
No, he did not do it.
Okay.
He's done a bazillion things,
Hmm.
but
But
not
that's
that.
not one of them.
Like Astro Boy. His first project was Astro Boy. Wow.
Oh.
You got asteroids?
There you go. Anyway, well, that's the
I don't.
director. It's
but
not
my
the
dad does.
producer.
He said sometimes I hurt so bad he can't sit down.
Well, anyway, I don't know. Deux and I had a really good conversation because
Did
we. I thought we had. I even told you that. I thought we had a great conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad for the conversation.
We had a great conversation, and it's like from conversation standpoint. Obviously, you didn't like the movie at all, and I really liked it. But how
now
we
you
discussed,
really liked it. See, like,
yeah, I really liked it.
When you first told me you watched it, you were kind of like, it's good. It's not for everyone's cup of tea, but it's fine. Like, you didn't.
Funny.
No, I definitely said it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I really liked it.
Rami told me that I would really like it, and then after
Oh, yeah.
you watched it, he was like, "Hey, Michaels hated it. You're gonna love it."
Yeah, I mean, that's my barometer. It makes sense. But Deux was saying things like everything you said, I agreed with. Like, art style is the only thing we differed on a little bit, because I do like the art, but as far as animation goes, there's a lot of like drawn out scenes where it's like not animated. It's just like camera movement.
I can, yeah.
But like Deux said, he didn't like it because it made him feel like Neon Genesis Evangelion and Undertale did, and I was like, I get that. I
Well,
understand
because
that
you
vibe.
read, because you're like, I can't wait to see, first of all, I knew that these were all critically acclaimed going into them, but like, it's almost like you want to be like, I can't wait to see people bashing this like I'm going to. And then you look it up and it's like world renowned, loved, people are buried with copies of it. And you're just like sitting there like some idiot who like the train passed him by, and I'm
The Galactic
there,
train.
The Galactic train.
kicking rocks with my hands in my pockets, looking real sad. And it's I don't know. So can I read what you said?
Hold on 1 second. You definitely can. Just hold on 1 second. The name of the movie is Night on the Galactic Railroad. That is what we are talking about. Sorry, dude, that was from me. Hello, Blood Ocean. Also in the chat, I've been behind. I just want to see, has anybody seen this movie or even heard of it? But anyway, dude, yes, floor is yours.
So it's clear rereading what you said that you liked the movie, but I'll just read it because it didn't sound like you were, let's say, Marvel liking it or something. So I watched that animated movie last night. It was pretty wild. Def some crazy vibes, but really interesting and thought-provoking. Def not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm really happy I watched. If somebody tells me they're really happy that they did something, but they didn't say I liked it, that means to me that like I'm glad for the experience, but peace and love, I didn't like it.
I think like
you did like it.
Yeah.
If I wrote this text, it would mean I didn't like it. But I'm trying to be nice.
It's funny because everything I said there, you read it, and I'm like, that sounds like I really like it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I would write that, and I would be like, okay, I don't want to hurt RMC's feelings, so I'll write this, and I'll be like, I'm really happy that I watched it. But because, like I said, I'm really happy I waited till the end.
Yes.
Like it was definitely worth waiting for the end, but I couldn't watch it again, and I could never recommend it to a soul on this planet.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising at all. But again, like I said to you, I just was thankful you watched it, because I don't know if it came across in me talking about it that I was like, I really want you to watch this. I was just more like putting it out there, but I was honored that you watched it.
Well, it was weird because usually and you've watched like a ton of anime, and I'm sure a ton of older anime. This is from '85, but like the way you kind of came out of the gate in the text message with it, I thought it was a brand new thing. And usually, there's nothing like usually there's something. If you're recommending stuff, usually it's new.
This
like
is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. When I say I think one way and I never consider it, I post that and I'm like, all I got to do is see the thumbnail, and that art style is clearly old. That's how I thought. I never would have thought anything else. So that
made things like retro style. Right.
Listen, I said it's my fault. I'm saying that's what a perfect example of my brain thinking one way and never considering another option.
I don't want to.
But now my eyes are open.
I thought it was a trailer for something new, and you were like, you might be interested in this. That's why I mean, it's not why I didn't even pay attention to it. I was doing other stuff at the time.
No, that's fine. Stuff happens. No, I get
Sorry,
it.
but go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't know. Usually you're recommending new things, and like, you'll be like, oh, these were nominated for this year's Oscars. Maybe I'll watch these movies. Where it's like, well, you didn't see, the best picture from 5 years ago, but you couldn't care less, and not that I'm saying you need to go back and watch Oscar winners or anything, but I'm just saying I was under the impression you're usually like up to date with this. Like you're not going to be like, oh, you know what I watched like 20 years ago, an anime that you'd like.
He didn't watch something I was talking about 4 years ago, but his cousin just brought it up, so he's going to watch it if he didn't already.
Didn't watch it yet.
There you go.
I'm not upset, just really hurt.
Listen, people recommend things, and I always write them down, but I have to be honest, I forget stuff all the time. I mean, I've
The thing
apologized
that'll
to
hurt
do.
most is when I'm saying I watched this 4 years ago and I'm still thinking about it occasionally. It still comes into my brain and it like affected me. He'll be like, it's too on the nose. It's too basic.
Do you want me to watch it or not?
Yeah, that's tough.
I want you to
like
experience it. I'll be happy if you experience it.
Okay. I will experience it this weekend. You have my word. Because it's a great way for me to now you say take your time. Because it's a great way for me to see if the internet's working. So why not go for it?
Let's put it this way.
Force majeure is what he's talking about, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Just
the
put that
original,
out
like
there.
the Swedish one.
Yeah.
It just got added to HBO Max.
I saw that on there. And I
HBO
didn't,
Max had like a huge.
I didn't
dump
know
of
if I should watch it or not. It's
Well, let's do our book report
a
for
dark
Nicky
Swedish
Hill.
comedy. Doesn't sound like all that exciting.
Listen, I thought it was going to be the way you read the description. I was like, I'm into it. Like, I'll check it out. Not at all what I thought it was going to be. And
I like that.
It hit me hard.
There you go.
Well, Night on the Galactic Railroad was I expected it to be out there, and it certainly was, but it was it went more out there than I expected.
Now here's the thing with this movie. I don't mind if things are like quote trippy. Like I'm not gonna be able to like put my words into and sound great, so I'm just gonna say the word trippy. But like I don't mind that, and I don't mind existential ideas or even like dialogue that I have to like maybe like try to interpret. I don't mind any of that stuff. This movie was so slow. I felt like it could have been a 30-minute thing. I felt like, and like obviously it was deliberate, trying to get you to think about like to digest each part of it while it's because it's literally like you'll get a couple of sentences and then it'll just be them staring out the window and like one drawing that a camera is clearly going like this around and like you're like, okay, all right, I'm thinking about, you know, herons and turning them into candy and what, like, so again, if you like anime, I would say with peace and love, go watch this movie. Just be prepared for it to be very slow. I felt like it could have been 45 minutes and then
it is slow.
An hour and 40 minutes.
You are right. The pace is done deliberately, like it's slow on purpose. And that's why I said it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Like I wasn't watching it being like, this is slow, let's go. Like I knew what it was doing and I'm fine with that. But I completely respect people watching that and being like, when are they going to get to the fireworks factory? So yeah, it's a movie that wants you to watch and sit and think and be like unsure of what's going on. And then it ends and you're like, oh,
it's like
I got a lot of things to think about.
I mean, there's a lot of Japanese films that are paced like that.
Yes, you're right.
For sure.
Yeah, it's very
it's just like a day in the life thing and just like things are going on.
It's a very Japanese style. Yeah, you don't see it too much outside of Japan, but yeah,
there was a time when I could, it's not that I could tolerate it, but like I could sit in it and like enjoy it.
Sit with it.
Sit with it. Well, see, the thing is, like when I'm still thinking about stuff and trying to figure out exactly what's going on, like those moments I appreciate because I'm like taking in more stuff visually and also thinking about like what are they trying to say here, what's happening, what's going on. But yeah, the ending isn't like here's something else to confuse you. Now you don't know what you saw. Like there's an end that like very much explains a lot of stuff, but leaves you with plenty to think about. So I love it. But anyway, I love it. Let's talk about what we played. Kirby, what do you play? What did you play lately?
Well, so last week I played through The Last of Us. Finally, it only took me 10 years, but I did it.
Even though to the TV show.
He had to beat the TV show. That's why he did it.
Even though it is not new, because the show is new, please refrain from spoilers.
Oh,
but
sure.
Feel free to talk about the game.
Yeah, and
oh yes, thank you, Malik Halo. I promise I will give you that.
This is like the first big game that you like, story-driven long game,
stealth game
that you've played in a long.
Oh yeah,
time.
that's usually your hang up, right? It's usually stealth mechanics.
Yeah, well, I'll get into that. Yeah, this is probably the first game I've actually like beaten in a while at this point. But Yeah, my so my girlfriend was asking about the show and like, should we watch it? Is it that good? And
Are there football players in it?
Does she not know the game?
I love how it's like one thing, and now forever we're gonna label her as this like
That's
Philly
your thing,
Eagles
football.
fan.
Loves football.
she
Old Jane Pigskin.
Does Joel throw football?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Had she
Does she
played
like
has
football?
Has she played The Last of Us?
No, she's not played the game. She's not really into
Where are you guys going?
action games like that, but
Non-sports stuff she's not into.
But anyway, I was like, well, why don't I show her like the first few minutes of the game? And
You've played this before? I don't remember.
I started playing it because I got like a free copy of I got a free copy of it when I bought my PS4 back in like this was like in 2015 maybe, and I played a little bit of it, maybe like an hour or two.
And this is the PS4 remaster, right?
Yes, this is the remastered version from 2014.
Not the remake that's coming
Not
out.
yeah,
or
not the new remake.
Remake master.
I was like, I'll show her the first few minutes of the game and see if maybe she's into that. And I just I just kept playing, and I eventually beat it after a couple of days.
How'd you sleep?
I slept okay actually because
I was tired.
Well, I had just had surgery a couple of days earlier, so I was on pain meds. So that's probably why I was sleeping better. But I can't. I don't know if I could say I enjoyed playing the game for two reasons. One, obviously, like it's a very, very bleak story, and it's full of like violence and loss and all that
So
stuff.
too close to real life.
And death.
Hell.
And the other is
I hate women.
The other is I'm really bad at the game. I beat it, but I was so bad at playing this game.
Did you play? Forgive me for interrupting, but is there a normal, easy?
Yeah, I played on normal mode.
Okay.
I played easy.
Would you not play easy for whatever reason? Like
I feel I'm weird about that. I will always like make an effort to play a game in normal mode unless it becomes like absolutely impossible.
Just feel like that's the way the game's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. But so I'm like I've said before, I'm usually not good at stealth in games. That was true of this game, but I'm also bad at the action segments of the game as well. I'm bad at the Uncharted games too, for some reason.
So maybe it's just Naughty Dog games you're bad at. Are you good at Crash Bandicoot?
No, not you.
I don't think I've ever played a Crash Bandicoot game.
We need to test this.
But I'm like just constantly getting like ambushed or like shot at from somebody off screen that I can't see, or and also the game is like Rami, you know how you've complained about how the default like brightness settings on games are always like way too dark.
Yes.
I had this game cranked up to like the maximum brightness, and I was still having trouble seeing things. Like I was.
But I've seen
What are your
everything.
settings on your TV? Was the screen?
I changed the settings on my TV too at one point, and
Wow.
that also didn't help.
The
'cause-
factory settings are always too high.
I like how games are like adjust the brightness until this logo is barely visible, and I'm like all the way over. I'm like, yep, there we go. I can see it perfectly now.
Wait, you don't? So I'm the only one that does that logo
No,
thing
I
the
do
way
it.
they do it. So you guys go all the way bright? Doesn't that?
I
ruin
go
the-
at least 70%
It
bright.
washes out.
I usually don't do it.
I thought it was.
This whole game is great.
Yeah,
Listen, when I'm playing the game, I want to see it. So
And that. And
Sort of like your dad wanted to see the Ninja Turtles movie.
too dark. That's right. He needed a brightness slider.
like the
Literally the only thing wrong with that movie.
Let the man speak.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But really, when I wanted to,
Oh.
Was your dad wearing sunglasses in the movie theater? That would have been great.
And usually usually I don't crank the brightness when I play games. It was just the game would be like so dark and murky looking. I would have no idea like who or what I was like shooting at or trying to sneak up on at times. And that made it a little more difficult. But shooting at or trying to sneak up on at times, and that made it a little more difficult. But yeah, I beat it, so
Are you happy?
it wasn't impossible.
Are you like, even though you kind of didn't enjoy it on all those levels, like did you find it fulfilling in any way when it was finished? Like, you're glad you experienced it at least?
Oh yeah, it's I am glad I played it, and yeah, it's a very good game. I feel like the story and the gameplay both kind of help to prop each other up in this game, but yeah, it's worth playing, even though it feels like I'm the last person on Earth to actually play through it.
The last person.
The last of us to play through it.
Do you think you'll eventually go and play the second one?
Yeah, I might. Oh yeah,
the settings are
that's got
way
a
more
ton of
adjustable.
accessibility features to make it easier in every way you could want. So
okay.
that you should
And
be
I
much
wouldn't-
better with that.
I wouldn't get down on you for going with the easier mode.
Hell yeah.
White chocolate.
And I played Left Behind as well.
Oh, so you did it all.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
for
cool.
you.
Left Behind.
That's not
is
about
Left
Left
Behind? Is
Behind,
that
the DLC.
the DLC.
With yeah. That's one of my complaints about the show, because it's faithful in some ways and not faithful in others. And so far, nowhere in the show is Joel going like this, grabbing everything.
Where he's just like down. He's like,
yeah, exactly. They need to do that in the show. It's ruining the show. Well, congratulations on seeing it through, even with the struggle and all that. And I'm glad you at least felt it worthwhile.
also,
to do so.
when he walks through, like, down into water, I expect him to get out of the water bone dry.
Yep, that's the
Never
the
forget
age
that
old.
complaint. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah, that's
So
it.
then, have you and what were we calling her, Jane Pigskin?
Jane
Have you been watching the show now that you've beat the game, or
We'll probably start watching it at some point, probably in the next couple of days.
Well,
Did
just
she
let her
play it
know.
with you, or just watch you play it? Or?
She watched me play. She watched me play some of it.
Just let her know that so far,
So she still has no idea what's going on.
up through episode 5, there's no football so far. So
Right. I did ask her if she like actually knew what was going on, because yeah, she would there were big chunks of the story that she like missed out on.
Oh.
Like suddenly she would be, you guys, you're riding a horse now, where'd that come from?
I grew it.
Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
Nothing.
That's great. Deux, I'm gonna go to you first this time.
Oh,
Because NickyHill has not been with us for a while.
yeah. So I played that Kirby demo.
Oh, you did.
What's it called? Kirby's
Time for you to make up the
Return-
wrong name.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland. DS demo. Deluxe.
There you go. You got
okay.
it.
So yeah, I played that demo, and it's fun. It's Kirby. I'm not the biggest Kirby guy.
Sorry,
but-
Kirby.
But I had fun. I had fun with this demo, and I had fun with the Forgotten Realms demo too. So I probably like the games. It just
Oh, you didn't
I
play
know.
Forgotten Realms?
You
I
played
played
some
it-
of it here,
played
but
a little
not.
bit here.
Oh, yeah.
I played like the first couple worlds maybe. No, I liked it. I liked it, but I never really kept at it. So then I went
Didn't
on.
really suck you in.
It didn't suck me in and spit me back out.
Well played.
So I also went on the NES. What's it called? Switch NES.
NES collection, yeah. Whatever.
And I played Kirby's Adventure to see what that would be like. And that's a good game too.
That's
really good one. That's the first one where Kirby had the ability to copy.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
His first game, he did not have that. It was just suck up enemies and spit them out.
Right.
See, I thought this was the first game. I was playing it, and I was like, "Oh, you can't turn into the enemies." And then by the third level, there's like a little hint thing, and it's like, just press down. And I was like,
yeah.
why didn't you tell me that?
Probably would have helped to have a booklet.
I think there's that game, like the whole bottom third of the game is a display window telling you what to do the whole time.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
so that's on the Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo NES.
Yeah,
I believe Kirby's Dream Land, the Game Boy one, is in the Game Boy collection.
It is,
so you could play.
So when I saw Return to Dreamland, I was like, "Is that the one that was on the NES?" Because it's the Return.
Well, that's what
Kirby's Adventure is on NES.
If I didn't ask you last week, I wouldn't have known about the demo, what it was from, because that was from the Wii.
It took him all
Kirby's
this
Return
time
to Dreamland
to
was on the
return?
Wii. Yes, Kirby's Adventure was on the NES. Kirby's Dreamland was Game Boy, and then there was Dreamland 2 and whatever.
Dream Realm.
Dream Realm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All realms.
So,
Realmland.
I did some of that. I played the Sea of Stars demo.
Did you?
Some of it. It's good. It's good. It's not for me, but if you're an RPG fan, I definitely think that you will probably like it. At least the demo.
Can I dig in on why it's not for you? Not just
RPGs
curious.
aren't for me. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot. It's a lot. I have to really be in a mindset to really give a crap. So, but it looks great. Music's awesome. Runs great. It's funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
It was fine.
good.
I just I didn't really sink my teeth into it, but I definitely recommend for RPG fans to download the demo. I mean, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, there's a demo.
I went and I played. I wanted to play. I don't know what I should talk about or how I should talk about this stuff. So, like
Red Dead Redemption.
I've been thinking more and more about just like legacy, and cowboys and rat hats, and like Skyrim again. No, just like legacy, I want to own physical copies of things, and I want like some of the old stuff that I got rid of, and like I don't want to go crazy as far as collecting and stuff, but there's certain things that I want, and I really wanted to play for some reason last week Resident Evil the Director's Cut, and I could have sworn I had it, but I looked through all my old PlayStation games and I got rid of it a long time ago. I kept Resident Evil 2, but for some reason I got rid of Director's Cut, and I bet you it's because I got the GameCube remake.
Why would I ever want
exactly? Why would I ever want it? So I really regretted that. But the other reason I could have gotten rid of it is because I realized I had Resident Evil DS or whatever it's called, the Deadly Sorrow,
Yeah, DS. Deadly Silence.
Deadly Silence. So I started playing Resident Evil Deadly
Wow.
Silence, and first of all, I love the 3DS. I've got the Nintendo at the NES 3DS XL, which is sweet looking. First of all, but secondly, I never use this thing, and you can pull it out, and it's got like 2 days worth of battery.
It's crazy.
I don't even understand it.
When I took out my Game Boy Micro like a month ago, it still had a charge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nuts.
It's so great. So I played a whole bunch of it, and like Resident Evil, the original. I mean, I played the GameCube one a bunch, but like the original, I played so much to the fact, like I've talked about it plenty of times, where Mom Brain, your dad thinks of the Black Rock when he can't sleep. I count zombies from this game. So like,
perfect.
That's how much I've played this game. So I'm like, even though I'm playing it on the DS, it's kind of like a comfort. It's like comfort food for me. So nothing new to say about it. Just
Deadly Silence was
Deadly Silence. Yes,
was a remake of the first one.
It was it's the first game, the very first game. It just has like all the special features, like a lot of special features that they added.
Okay,
but it's the original. It's the original game.
Okay.
The original game. And there's like a bunch of DS features that you could play the original game, or you could play the version with the DS features. So there's like some touchscreen stuff. When I first got the game, I remember playing through the new versions, but this time around I'm doing original just because I want the classic feel. And it's amazing what like I just love it. I just absolutely am having a ball.
I love it.
So it's kind of scratching that nostalgic itch. I've also gone, and I don't even know if I should I talk about the other thing? It's not even, I won't talk about it. We've already been going forever.
We're at 2 hours. That's it.
Yeah. So
hey, you talk about what you want. You don't got to talk about anything you don't want to.
Cheers.
But we will all be curious forever.
So yeah, well, going with that, with the classic, I'm not going to talk about it. I will in the future. So I also went onto I went to the PS5, and
perfect.
there was a game that I wanted. I almost bought a classic PlayStation Mini because I wanted to play Intelligent Cube. I was going to buy it for the one game. And because I couldn't find, like, I was like, it's you can't find it anywhere for cheap. And I was like, this doesn't, I was like, I'm sure it's not on PlayStation Network. I could have sworn I checked. I guess I never did. RMC does a 2-second Google search and he's like, it's on the network store for $10. I was like, I was going to buy this stupid thing.
He asked me because I own a physical copy, but I also have a digital. I was like, I bought it on a PS3, so it was a while ago. I was like, it might still be there. And I did a quick search and I was like, yeah, it says it's here. It's
I don't
$10.
know how I missed it. You know what I think it was? And this is so silly, is online it's got a different cover than the physical cover. So like that, I think. Because I thought it was Intelligence Cube, so I think that's probably why it didn't pop up.
A mistake.
I must have been, yeah. But anyways, that game's great still. I love that game. What a fun puzzle game.
I love the sound effects of his feet. I love the music. Just the puzzle idea is a lot of fun.
The music is so epic. It's like a score for a Hollywood blockbuster. It's really incredible.
I even like the fast forward of the blocks, like just the like when you're.
It's very satisfying. There's like a tactile. There's a satisfying like thing that goes with every bit of that game. So I loved that.
We should add that perfect to the soundboard.
Yes,
perfect.
Yes, we should. But yeah. So I'm just so happy to have Intelligent Cube. So that's like another one from my old school gaming days. So it just feels good to get these nostalgic bones scratched. Is that a itch scratched?
No, bone, the classic bone scratch.
Yes, the old bone scratch.
Scratch my bone.
And just one last thing. I played and beat Metroid Prime Remaster.
Yay.
So loved it. It's great. They put a lot of effort into this. It feels like the same game, looks like the same game in your memory. You know what I mean? But it's like
when you see
beautiful
where it came from, you're like, oh god,
it's really incredible. Because like the week before, I think I shared that I played the Wii version, just the first like tutorial bit, and it held up fine, but it was a little ugly, and it was kind of like a little rough.
Well, you're ugly.
And so I ended up playing this one, and I actually just beat it today. 13 hours. Not short enough though to see Samus's face apparently, because you got to do it in 10 hours. Because we want you to zip through it as fast as possible. That's the only way you're getting rewarded with a face, not because you loved it and you hung around for 13 hours. But anyways, I just YouTubed it. Face looks good.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty good. To see your face, you just go up to a wall and use your blaster,
you
right?
Can do that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that stuff's really cool. All that stuff's still in it.
Taking her helmet off.
You'll see her flowing hair.
But
yes,
it's an amazing game. There's not a lot of games from that. I don't know, from that era, because what's that? PlayStation 1. That's PlayStation 2.
What was
Xbox,
it?
PS2, GameCube.
I guess there's some game. There's still a lot of games, first person games that you probably play from that era. But it's just maybe not, because like this still hold, like the gameplay for this is amazing. Like it's really, really great. Still holds up today. The way the story is told through the scanning is just so much. So it just pulls you right in. I just really, really love that. I love that there's not a lot of there's no cutscenes or talking or any of that, which is fine, in certain cases. But in this game, it's just the way it's put together is perfectly done. A lot of fun. I didn't remember, and this is a game I played a bunch on the GameCube and then a couple of times on the Wii as well. So I'm very, very familiar with it. And I can't believe how much backtracking I don't remember having to do. Holy crap. Luckily, every single place, every single realm in this game is really, really intriguing and great and looks great. And there's not like one place where you're like, oh, I got to go to this place. There's one place, but that's only because they cut the power and it's like really annoying. But like other than that, every part is great. The backtracking doesn't really get to you that much. There's a little bit of challenge at certain parts, but overall, it's pretty straightforward. That fight with Ridley in the rain.
Yeah.
With the Chozo temple like exploding every time he shoots at you.
Spoiler alert.
It's awesome.
Really quickly, I just want to tell you that William George says Intelligent Cube is free with PlayStation Plus Premium as well as Resident Evil Director's Cut. Just in case
that's
you didn't
why
know
I
that.
got that's why I got confused. That's part of the story that I didn't bring up because I was texting RMC and I was like, just like Director's Cut, I've got to join the PlayStation Plus thing for an extra whatever. And I had read it wrong, and Intelligence Cube was available for $10.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. Who was that again?
William George.
Thanks, William George, for the heads up. But I did already look into that. It's kind of a bummer that they're keeping the Resident Evil Director's Cut enclosed behind a fake gate. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't that be available if you want to pay for it? Like, they don't even make it available if you want to pay for just that.
Well, I'll wait for the Resident Evil Director's Cut remake.
Did you know? You can
play
the
Tetris
Star
for
Wars
free on
stuff? Because that made me
Tetris.com.
think of the Star Wars stuff. How like you can't see the originals.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
his
saw
wife
that
it's
too.
because of his wife.
Yeah.
I just found
she
that
had
out
the
recently.
rights to it, or she had the
I
rights
guess
to like
we all
half
saw
of
the
it
same
because she
TikTok.
edited it.
Is that what it was?
And
Probably
he needed to change a certain amount to make it his own or whatever
Yeah.
to change the copyright.
Yeah, that's
Well, he didn't have
so-
to change it to make it worse, though. He could have just changed it enough. He didn't have to make it bad.
Just like,
Not bad, but those parts
He added
are bad.
more jizz though. In the
I
third
will.
movie.
I'm a jizz whaler at heart, so I'm all about that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would say if you never played Metroid Prime and you like first person
now's your chance,
shooters,
get into it.
this is a must have for the Switch. It's just awesome. And the only other reason I would get it is if you're like a crazy person like me who cannot say no to replaying games over and over again.
Well, you're in the majority.
Well, yeah, it was wonderful. I wanted to mention that Nintendo sent like a survey. I just got it today, actually, like right after I beat the game, which was kind of weird, but it was like, it's like, how are you enjoying your game? You know, like, because they keep tabs on all that stuff. So I took the survey and I told them I loved it and all that. And then at the end, it was like, you know, do you have anything else to say? And I said, I didn't write it down. What I was looking to see if I wrote it down. I didn't. I said, I love, just like I bought this remake, I would buy the Eternal Darkness remake. So make it happen. So when the Eternal Darkness remake happens, folks, it was this guy that did it because of that survey. Because I know it's an actual human that's going to read all that, right?
Humans do read that.
I mean,
that's true,
at this point,
but-
if it's AI, there's a better chance of it getting through.
Maybe.
Yeah, Nintendo's not doing that. I don't see
That's
that
right.
happening. Is that it?
As far as everything that I played, that is everything.
All
Thanks
right,
for listening.
Nicky, I've been waiting all week to hear what Deux was trying to get you to say on Tuesday. So
Well, you're going to have to wait even longer because I have other things to talk about.
That's as long as you say it now.
I played through and completed. I forgot the name. Inscription.
Oh,
that was a couple weeks ago.
Good for you.
And I thought no, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. What else did you play?
But it was an experience, and I'm still trying to figure out what I experienced. But yeah, so there's that.
Was that the one you wanted him to say?
No.
Okay.
I think he knew that I played it though, because I don't know if I texted him or I called him, and I was like, "What the heck is going on here?"
You'd called me right after you beat it, and you didn't know you beat it, and we talked all about it.
Drake, somebody sent me an email about that Ship S as well. I don't know what the hell that is. I have to email my Nintendo rep. I'm gonna try and get an answer on that. Anyway.
And then after that, I went, to the very next logical route, or not next logical game, and I don't know if I downloaded it. I think I downloaded it because it was like on a sale or something, and I tried Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel's Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy, and I didn't really play much of that, but I'm probably going to go back to it. But I'll tell you, the very first puzzle. This is why I didn't go back to it. The very first puzzle took me like 15 minutes, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, it's a stupid, simple puzzle, and I just couldn't visualize it.
I don't know. Some of those conspiracies she gets involved in are a little too
Did you
crazy
play
for
the
me.
whole thing?
She's like, Is the moon landing fake? Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. That kind of stuff.
Pizza
so.
party.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah. No further comment.
What do we got there?
She's eating dog food.
Man. There are treats for her too. I don't know. The salt? She gonna have to drink more. And I played and finished.
Ooh.
Life is Strange: True Colors.
Oh wow, killing it!
Man.
What did you think of that?
Not as much. What's her name as I thought would be in it. It would have been funnier if I remembered her name.
Not as strange.
Who? The main character?
Cyndi Lauper. True Colors.
Oh, True Colors. Yes, not as much. Meaning none.
Also, what's really frustrating. So this is where the memory card situation comes in. I had a memory card in the Switch.
And by memory card, he means
micro SD card.
Yeah, micro SD card.
SD micro card. Put the game in the Switch. I had a hard copy of the game. Like I have a real copy. I had to download like 6 gigs.
Gotta check the back of the box.
Yeah. Well, you know what that 6 gigs doesn't include? The DLC. I was like, man,
DLC's not. Yeah, it just tells you what you need for the base game.
It's just it's frustrating, and it's happened to me 3 more times now where I put a game in, need to update it. Not necessarily that like you need to like get gigs worth of stuff, but you need to do an update, and now the update is on the micro SD card, and now like I have to write it down. Like I have to think, I need to transfer it over to the actual Switch so that when I just put the game cartridge in, I can play it without a problem. And it's just really frustrating because now I think I did an update for Mario Kart because I played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and there was an update for that. So now I have to go and like find the card that has that little bit of. I did it actually the day of when I went to play it. It's like a little bit is on this card, and then I have to transfer it over to the Switch. It's just frustrating. It's
How
annoying.
about you just get one big card, and then whenever you have that instance pop up, use that card.
Yeah, well, because when you're buying these things, you don't want to spend $4 million on a big card, and then you're gonna also fill up that big card and go, "Wow, that was a lot," and I filled it up already. Wow. Anyway,
not even close.
Wow. Wow, big boy. Anyway, so yeah, and I got the Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy thing that I transferred stuff over so I could download that directly to my Switch, I think. Does that make sense? And I played through and finished.
This is for you.
Wow. Oh man, you had that's the vape thing, right?
Yeah.
I was looking for that a while ago. I played through and finished Kirby's Dream Land.
Your Game Boy.
On the Game Boy.
Hey.
And then after that, I was like, I'll try. I love Super Mario Land. 3 Wario something? What is that? What's the Wario one of Super Mario Land?
Curse of the Golden Coins.
Yeah, it's the third one. You're right.
6 golden coins.
But it's Wario.
It's Wario, yes.
And that's the one. Is that the one where like you turn into like you put on the horns and you like can run like a bull and stick to the ceiling?
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting going into Wario Land 3 or Wario World, whatever the heck it is.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What?
I thought that's what you do in that game.
It's not the same.
Maybe that
it's
power
not
up.
the same,
Maybe that's
like,
in 4.
I don't know which one it was. I just have
one of the
Wario
Lands definitely has that. Exactly what you described.
Yeah, where like there's a conveyor belt on the ceiling and you like jump up and stick your bull horns into the ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's what I was expecting. Like a straightforward platformer, and Wario Land 3 is not that. Like you have to bounce back and forth and like keep.
I might be wrong, but I thought they were all like that. Like you get treasure and all that stuff. I could be misremembering.
It is, but I think it's more straightforward with like lands.
Mm-hmm.
Like play here on a map, not play here. Go to this next map thing. Now come back and play over on this map and blah blah blah.
Drake says Mario Land 3 is Wario Land 1. Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
And then because it did so well, they were like, "Well, you don't got to call these Super Mario Land anymore. It's just Wario."
So I played Wario Land 3. I also played Tetris, and I've
Game Boy?
fallen into the Game Boy
free?
Tetris, and now I know. Kind of.
And
Well, I know extra cost.
And no additional cost.
Now I know why when I play any other Tetris game, even though you have the option to turn clockwise or counterclockwise, I always turn the one direction, even if I have to go, like, even if it means hitting it 3 times to go one rotation the other direction.
Did you know you can play Tetris for free on Tetris.com?
I think I heard about that somewhere, Josh, but
yeah.
thank you. But so I always turn to the one side, one direction, because on the Game Boy, that's all you could do. Also, on the Game Boy, you could not save a piece to use later.
No holding.
And I never do that, even now that it's an option in like newer games.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
Newer games over the last 30 years.
Right. Well, there's been how many Tetris games, and I've never used any of those features. I'm always just like right, drop, right. Like that's it.
That doesn't even have the hard slam, right?
It doesn't have a hard slam, like where you press up.
Yeah.
And the other thing it doesn't do is ghosting on the bottom to show you where it lands. You got to know where that stuff is going to land. You got to know the feel. And I didn't get a big rocket ship, but I have shot into space a couple of times.
For someone who hasn't played video games, that sentence sounds insane. So I played Tetris. I haven't got a big rocket ship yet, but I did blast into space.
And I think the last thing that I can say that I played, did she just sneeze in there?
Would you please say this game?
Oh no, there's 2 more things. Minecraft Dungeons. I've played a few times.
He forgot about them. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
I didn't write it down.
I love it.
Minecraft Dungeon. Oh yeah, you're right. Of course. Clubhouse games I've been playing too.
See House G's.
But no, I've been playing Minecraft Dungeons a bit, and then the last one that I got into, I think I'm also about 13 hours in, and I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface, is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, wow. He's doing it, people.
And so I'm enjoying the aimless wandering, but I just have this, you know, that feeling when you're on like the last part of a game, and it's like, you know, you have to get to the tower, or like this is our last chance to save the day, and you're like, you know, I'm gonna go run around and do all these other quests, you know. Meanwhile, the world is about to end, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go. Like, I feel like that this entire time, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure for me to like advance the story, and I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. So
to advance the story, you don't know? Because I mean, I think it like spells it out for you, right?
It does, but like right now I'm looking at a photo and I have to match it to an environment. And the person told me, but I didn't write it down, and it didn't save it in like any notes or anything, or like in my quests. And I'm like, this looks like where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm not supposed to be, but like, and so now also the horseplay. I mean, I've lost my horse. I don't know how many times. But I have ridden on the back of a buck, and I feel like majestic.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. The first 3 hours that I played it, I was like, I'm just walking around. Like, I'm not doing anything. I feel like I need to accomplish something here. And like I said, I'm 13 hours in, and I'm still like learning the basics, but I'm at least enjoying the wandering and like a bit of collection.
Hey, you're off the plateau, so you're in the real game. That's all that matters.
No, I'm still on the plateau.
No, you got a horse. You got to be off the plateau. Yeah. Oh, I'm a horse.
I did want to say that. I've been playing for 13 hours, and some old man finally just gave me a glider. But that's not the truth.
Right.
But like that is frustrating, where it's like these people are like, hey, you're right here, let's get to work. Oh, but I need this first. You got to get it for me. It's like, come on.
The man's a ghost, dude. Leave him alone.
Well, not just him, the other, the little old lady, and I don't remember her name.
Zelda,
the little old lady, and her saucy granddaughter.
But no, not inside. The other little, the baby old lady. That's what she is. She's like a 6-year-old.
I know who you mean.
and she's like throwing up gang signs and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
And that stuff kind of
yeah.
annoys me. There's like
I love
there's
Dr.
like
Robbie. Dr. Robbie's the best.
there's like little things that are like keeping it hip for a new generation or something. And I'm like, really, we're talking like this? But
I'm gonna
taste of a new
counterpoint that
generation.
one. It's not that. It's a Japanese thing. Like posing in Japan is a big deal.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Something
I'm
else.
just saying.
No, but that's not just that. Something else was said at one
There, he's
point.
doing one right now.
Something else was said.
Junko posing.
Like something was sus or something was like what a cap. I don't know.
I don't think either of those are in there.
No, they're
doubt
not.
that.
But it's not that far off. Anyway,
I don't trust this Ganon dude. He's
and
pretty sus.
you know how I feel.
Hyrule Castle is so chuggy.
You know how I feel about like exactly what they're doing with the Sheikah Shield, where it's like, oh, we've got this new system. This is what it looks like, and then they put something that looks almost identical into the game.
This
and
is
it's
what it
like,
looks like.
so you're
Link's got
basically
no riz.
Yeah.
with
using
Mifa.
this system inside of the system. It's like so meta or whatever, and like that usually bugs me, but I'm over it already. I mean, I've been playing for 13 hours.
I mean,
Nintendo does that stuff.
every
a lot.
new every new device.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion does it all the time.
Yeah.
EGAD gives you a Game Boy Color
I
and a
love
Virtual
that
Boy
kind of
and all
stuff,
that.
Actually,
Well, you'll have to agree to disagree. Well, I'm glad you're playing it and enjoying it, and I'm sure you'll find where the picture is, and you'll be
Eventually,
great.
but like I
You
am
do any
wondering.
Divine
So that's-
Beasts?
No.
Oh, never mind. You're not doing story yet.
Well, I'm trying so freaking.
Did you go to a
hard.
town?
Yeah, and there's so many people to talk to, and it's overwhelming. And like, let me look at this book. Oh, I got to read. I got to sit here for 10
Hey,
minutes.
listen,
and
I didn't
read
even
this
start
page.
doing story stuff until I went to every tower. Like I lit up
You
the
can
whole
get
map.
to all those towers.
Sure can.
Oh, that's how you get a map for every area. I guess I should have realized that because that's what happened.
They
the
do
first
tell
one.
you that. They
That's
do
a
tell you
joke,
that.
right?
No,
You've been playing 13
They
hours.
literally tell you that. Yeah, you go to the tower, it lights up your map, it drops the drip, and then you see it, boom, 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 and then they're like all these other towers,
You're
and they
right.
show you in a cutscene.
I didn't
and-
remember. I honestly didn't remember. It was 13 hours.
Zelda
ago.
is gonna die.
That was 10
Do I
hours
have to
ago.
be?
Do I have to be?
But yeah, so I mean, for as dire as the situation is, and how like I need to like really speed it up and do these things.
you don't need to speed it up.
No, in real life, no. But
Oh.
in story wise, it's the end of the world.
No. Yeah, story wise, fine. If you're gonna put fake storyline pressure on yourself, go right ahead. But there's no in-game thing. Tony De La Mancha says, "Screw humans, go see the Gorons." There you go.
But
That's
like,
it.
so the
Daruk.
but the scope is impressive, and like the game is what 10 years old.
6, 5 plus.
So like, it's now I'm going to talk about it. Like, right? I want to talk about Heat.
Hey, now's the time.
Well,
Tears of the
I'm
Kingdom
just
is on
playing
the
it
way.
now. But yeah, like
yeah, it's good you're finally playing it.
you get to
before
the top of a
Ooh.
mountain and you look around and you're like, everything that you see you can touch,
Everything that I touch.
and for the most part, like you don't have to load to get there. Like when you get into towns, it loads or whatever. But like you are walking around and like it's just all right there for you,
love
all at
that.
your
Yeah,
fingertips.
there's really no transition points that I
Being
can
able
think
to
of.
climb anything. That's just the best thing in the
That's
world.
another thing that does bug me sometimes, but
The freedom.
or whatever. No, well, the freedom of like, there's nothing to climb here, but he's just like,
What's wrong
You know
with
what I
you?
mean?
There's a mountain.
It's
Hi.
literally the one mechanic that took the open world genre to the next level. Like that's the one thing that every open world game should be doing now.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't fit in
Climbing?
like a Skyrim game. You know what I mean? Like it would just be weird. The cartoonish nature of this makes it more palatable.
This may be controversial.
Maybe not for you,
but I'm
for
saying
others.
get rid of this. Like, oh, here's a different colored ledge or a bright vine showing me where to climb. Like, all that Uncharted stuff. How about just let me figure out my own way? I'll climb up and that's it.
yeah, I don't know like the technical side of that, like if that makes it harder to code or like it takes up more memory for you to be able to interact with that wall in that way.
Oh, I don't know any of that stuff, but I would imagine between one specific route you're supposed to take or any possible route, that would be the harder one.
I mean, there's a lot,
Especially if
like
it
you get to
rains.
places when there's things there, but there's a lot of nothing in between. But that doesn't take away from it.
Hi TKO, Mom Brain and I saw the movie last night and we really liked it. And sorry to be that guy, but actually it's phase 5, not
But
phase 6.
But yeah,
Unless
so that
I'm
was
wrong,
like,
I
what
could
did
be
you
wrong.
play?
What did I play?
It
Thanks
is
for
phase 5.
asking.
It's the first of phase 5.
First to phase
What
5.
happened with phase 4? Where did it end?
It ended with Wakanda Forever. What do you mean? It's the last movie.
Yeah, but Wakanda Forever is like the start of a completely different.
It's the
phase.
beginning of Forever.
Yeah, leading into the beginning of Phase 5.
So it was the transition.
Yeah.
No, but
it ended.
There's no. Go ahead.
The whole part of the problem that I have with Marvel things is that they show you the timeline of when things are being released, so you know things are happening.
Okay. They're promoting movies. Yeah, that's what they do.
No, so you know that there's something called the Kang Dynasty or whatever.
Yeah.
So that it's like a major thing. So you know all this stuff is happening. So it's like no real like surprise. I don't know. During Phase 1,
I do have
things kind of happened in a different way. Where like, they didn't know where they were going with it at the time. So like you'd see Thanos at the end and you're like, oh, they're building up to something. But like, what are they building up to?
But you don't know anything about Kang. You just know the guy's name.
No, we learned about him in Loki.
Yeah.
And you learn about him in this.
Yeah.
And
so what's your complaint?
Like you finally have a bad guy now. Like that's.
But you know he's a bad. No, it's not like nothing can catch you by surprise because you know that these superheroes are going to get into fights and they're probably going to come out victorious because they're superheroes and that's the way these things are built. Or these stories are told, and
I mean, are we like?
Yeah, what do you?
Like,
I don't understand.
Now, what are we upset about? We're upset that the superheroes are winning. Like,
what are you talking about? When you first
saw what I was saying about Wakanda Forever,
yes,
is that it's the start of the whole battle, the Vibranium Wars or whatever. Like it's that's the start of an entirely different side story.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't include anything about Kang or anything.
Okay.
And maybe I guess it will in the future.
That's the point.
But like for that to be the end of a phase, whereas the end of Phase 1 was Endgame, like that was an ending.
That was end of Phase 3.
That was the end of Phase 3. Yeah.
Wow, what a phase.
End of Phase 1 was Avengers.
Oh well, that kind of makes sense
like
too,
that.
I guess. Where I mean, that makes sense too. Then, where it's the phase ends
end of Phase 2
with a giant, probably Avengers 2 then or something.
Age of Ultron,
Age of Ultron?
Or it could be Civil War. Yeah, I don't know. The only one that has a clear one, I would say, is Phase 1. If it did end with Avengers, because basically Phase 1 and Phase 4 are
there's a build up, and then like the end of that phase.
Phase 1 and Phase 4 are pretty much the same thing in that Phase 1 introduced a whole bunch of characters and Phase 4 introduced a whole bunch of characters, except Phase 1, if it ended with Avengers, brought them all together.
Right.
Whereas Phase 4 just introduced all these players that are going to come up. So I don't know.
Who's all introduced in Phase 4? I don't even know.
Miss Marvel, Ironheart, Moon Knight.
Ironheart got like a...
You asked who was introduced. You didn't ask how much time.
She-Hulk.
There's
a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, the Eternals.
Yeah, that was all Phase 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Put a little number
but anyway,
in the corner.
What is
like a trademark?
They tell me too much by telling me Kang. Now also tell me a number. What did I play?
Numbers.
Let me look at what I
like
played.
how you were like, I'm not going to talk about the new Marvel movie till Mom Brain gets here, and as soon as you start talking about it, she leaves.
All right, I got to look at my Switch to see what I played. So I played Blanc. I did my reviews for it, so you can read a review. I talked about it pretty much at length last week. Oh, that's why I had to look. I played Fortnite, as I always do. Had a lot of great games, and I need to double check if I'm allowed to talk about this thing because it is not out yet. But I will happily talk about it as long as I can. Could I have done this already? Sure, but I didn't.
You underestimate the power of the dark
I got a
side.
Netflix email and I didn't look at it. Is it telling me password stuff? Let's see. Adhere to the coverage and review embargo.
Hey, dog. What are you guys doing?
Please do not post or stream it. Oh, okay. I can't talk about it. Sorry, guys. No deal.
You haven't played anything.
No, I have played stuff. I played, as I said I would last week, I played a lot of Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare on the Game Boy Color on Switch Online.
That's the one that was based on the Yui Bowl movie with was it Christian Slater? Or something?
Yes. So I played that. It was one of those games that's always been in my history of wanting to play, but never did. It's like an old school Resident Evil, just, you know, obviously looks much worse, but it's like an old school Resident Evil. You go around, you pick up items, you solve puzzles with them, and you shoot things. Like it's exactly the same. Like, you know, static camera angles that you travel between. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same, which is what Alone in the Dark was when it came back as the New Nightmare on PS2. Basically, or maybe it was PS1. It was Resident Evil because they're like, oh my god, Resident Evil's popular. We can do one of those. So that's what it's like, but it's on the Game Boy Color. So temper your expectations. But yeah, it was actually fun. I liked it. The only thing I found out that I didn't like is in the game, if you run out of ammo, you die. Like the game's just like, well, you got no more bullets, so you're dead. And I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I was like,
they don't even give you a chance to like get to more ammo.
No, because here's the thing. The game is like Resident Evil static camera. You move around scenes and pick up stuff. But as you're walking around, eventually, it's kind of like an RPG. They'll do it like a cutscene of the guy, and he's like, "Uh-oh, here comes some enemies," and it transitions into like a 3/4 shooting scene. So you're running around shooting, but the only way to get out of that scene is to shoot everything. So if you run out of bullets, the game just is like, "Well, you're dead." And I was like,
you just have to be really accurate.
You have to
there's
be
no way to avoid those situations.
No, there are, because some are triggered by interacting with something, but you won't know that going into it. You know, if you go over in this corner and expect this thing, the guy's like, "Oh, enemies." So you don't know that. So yeah, I found out the hard way that when I ran out of bullets, I died, and I was like, "Oh," so I had to restart some stuff. But I mean,
See, that's when I would have been like, "That was a good game," you know, and that's when you were like, "That's when I'll restart."
I restarted and got back to where I was with much more ammo and being very careful about my aim. There's a good amount of ammo drops. So it's doable, but yeah, that was frustrating to learn because I had put in like an hour and 15 minutes at that point, and I got a game over, and it was like, that's it.
And you had to play an hour and 15 minutes of that again.
No, I did it much quicker because you're solving puzzles. Like, I need this key to go in this door and unlock this door. You know all that stuff. So it took me like 20 minutes to get back there. But yeah, I mean, as long as you don't mind the graphics being extremely rudimentary compared to Resident Evil, it's just like Resident Evil. So it's fun. I love seeing that kind of stuff when they really stretch their legs on hardware to a degree that seems impossible.
That was on
Game Boy Color.
Oh,
Surprised? Yeah, Game Boy Color.
Isn't it on Game Boy too? There's a version of it
only
on
Game Boy Color, because the box art literally says only for Game Boy Color.
Oh,
I mean,
Game
unless
Boy,
I'm crazy.
Game Boy and Game Boy Color are two different.
They are two different
things to get on the Switch, right?
No,
they're all combined in
under
one
the
app.
Game Boy thing. And
But
you can even go into the settings in the Game Boy thing and make them all color as if you're playing on a color Game Boy.
So games made for Game
still
Boy
doesn't
Color,
look great, but it's fine.
all games made for Game Boy Color have, you know, the full range of the color, but it takes old Game Boy games and adds a little bit of
Is
color.
Minish Cap available right now?
Oh,
right
yes.
now, that's GBA though.
Yeah. Have you played that one? That's a good one. That one's fun.
I played it on a DS back in the day.
That's when you. That's how you. Okay, that's one way to play it. Yes,
You could. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're backwards
Because I never had a Game Boy.
Yeah, see, only for Game Boy Color, upper left-hand corner.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that these. Okay, I thought this was all Game Boy.
But I've seen everything.
Wow, I got to use my eyeballs.
Yeah, these that say Game Boy Color are for Game Boy Color.
Yeah, but when this is up, when this is highlighted, you don't see like. I don't know. I didn't go to those. I went to that one, and I don't.
It's big. It's the biggest one.
I didn't think it was in color. I don't remember it being in color when I just played it. Maybe because
Only
I
for
need
Game Boy Color.
Maybe I needed to change the setting.
My body is ready.
Let's see. That's a curious question.
Or maybe it was in color, but like my brain is monochromatic.
All right, so I put it on pocket.
That's a good question.
No, it's color.
I didn't. No, I don't think mine came up that way. I have to see it when I go home.
There's no other option. This game is for the Game Boy Color. I just did it. You can't make a Game Boy Color game black and white. Look, see, I'm on black and white. I wasn't on color.
It is in color. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow, my brain.
Listen, you weren't paying attention to the color. You were paying attention to Wario violating the treasure chest.
Yeah.
So I did that,
little
and then I played more of that Game Boy Advance game that I was talking about.
Little splash of white chocolate on that chest there, Wario. Sally, get here.
Kururin.
Come here.
The paddle moving game, which is
I played a little bit of
Oh,
that.
did you really?
Because you
It's
told me
fun.
about it.
It's
It
fun.
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was very interesting, like what some people came
Cool
up
idea.
with back in the day,
when the internet was down yesterday and the tech was here, I couldn't work, and I grabbed my Switch and played it handheld and played just that game. And I was like,
nice.
Then the tech came over to talk to me, and I was like, oh, I was having fun.
I was playing Kururin.
Can't you see I'm playing Kururin? Yeah, it's fun. I like it. All right, let's do questions. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
goninpod@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo. They can be about video games in general, or whatever the hell you want.
How about hot dog sandwiches?
This comes from Miles, and it is a long question. Hi, Raw Meat, Mom Brain, and the rest of the crew. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I started coming to the site regularly ever since I saw the Wii U unboxing video in 2013. Wow, that's a hit. That's a hit with people. They like that video of me having sex with a Wii U in bed.
What was the one where you were wearing one of my dresses?
That was I did that for Style Savvy.
That was a home video.
Yes.
I'm so happy the site and the podcast are back. Me too. I heard your discussion about choices made in the Last of Us TV show, especially with episode 3, and I felt I needed my thoughts put into words. Sorry for the length for this next part. As a gay man in my 40s, I am fed up with having seen. I am fed up with having seen way too many times that the go-to endpoint for representation of gay relationships in media is tragedy. When I played The Last of Us a few years ago, I was beyond disappointed when finding Frank's fate. I was not looking forward to episode 3 of the show, as what was a tired trope that made me eye roll back in 2013 is now unacceptable to me 10 years later. I was happily surprised that they decided to explore what would have happened if Bill had opened up. As a beardy loner who took a leap of faith myself that has led to a relationship of almost 20 years now, ooh, congratulations, I felt seen at last. They won the apocalypse. They didn't, oh, wow, whatever. I'm just going to go and say, they didn't get killed by clickers or raiders. Having days, that is a shame that Ellie and Bill couldn't interact in this iteration, though. It must be an autocorrect. Having said that, it's a shame Ellie and Bill couldn't interact in this iteration. I think Nick Offerman and Bella Ramsey could have played well off of each other.
Yeah, definitely.
I 100% agree. Some of the changes made in the series so far are a bit iffy, but telling a story of people thriving and finding purpose in the post-apocalypse was the right thing to do given the tragedies of the previous 2 episodes, even though I've been going through the 5 stages of grief this past week from it. Avoiding the feels by doing nothing else but playing Power Wash Simulator has led to it bleeding into my dreams. 2 nights ago, I dreamt I was power washing Bill and Frank's house. That's great. Oh my God, this is great. So they just shared their thoughts on The Last of Us, and then they transitioned to this. So my question is this: have Viennettas gotten lazy looking since the 80s to you? In the UK, I remember them having more layers and looking so much fancier.
It's because they're served in that Chia Cat diamond crystal dish.
I agree.
That's when they look.
They
nice.
did
They've
look
gone
fancier,
down.
but I think that
But they've
commercial
gone down in
presentation,
quality for sure.
I saw a TikTok where somebody was just like, back in the day watching this commercial,
yes,
you were like, I could never afford this, so I found one in the store and I bought it. It's vanilla ice cream.
It worked when we were kids because I remember when we got it.
I remember that commercial. When I saw that TikTok in that commercial, I was like, oh my God.
It's
and
the
it
fancy
did look
face
amazing.
for like dessert.
That's what he said.
And I remember them like, I remember the hand being like, oh no. Oh,
yeah.
And then at the end, it's like, give me more.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
When we got it as kids, I was like, this is the fanciest dessert we will ever have. Actually, my real question is this: have you been so obsessed with a game that has bled into your dreams? Also, as someone who's chosen midlife crisis activity is learning the bass guitar. When I can't sleep, I visualize the fretboard and going through the notes on each string. Keep up the great
Very
work,
cool.
and long may it continue, and get that sax. Oh, thank you. Yes, I've had games that I've dreamt about where I was either in the game or playing the game or just thinking about the game in a dream. Certainly, I've been there. I can't think of an example, but it's happened multiple times.
It's not that I thought I was special or I thought I was the only one, but like obviously now I wasn't the only one. Where like you play Tetris for a certain amount of time and you just like see that Tetraminos falling.
You
and,
know what
like,
they call it?
Tetris Effect.
The Tetris Effect.
Oh my god!
that
they don't
talk
really.
about-
That
no,
was just a
it's in the
joke.
trailer. right?
Yeah, it's a real
Oh, it is
thing.
a
It's a
thing?
study. Yeah, that's why they called it that. It's the
yeah.
Tetris Effect is like a, what do you call it? Not verified. Like they
Scientifically
Validated?
proven. Yeah, thing.
but like, yeah. So I never thought
Boom,
like,
Tetris
oh, I'm
for
the
Jeff.
only one. But I played it so much, and it's a real thing. It's got a name. They had the trailer for it. He talks about that in the trailer for the. Is it a series or a movie? Movie. The
Oh,
Tetris?
that's a movie.
Nintendo podcast.
I thought it was just going to say new segment. Cool. I forgot it was like a big long thing.
New Tetris.
But yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it was a long shot.
So
They
there
don't
was
all
that.
work.
Take risks.
But I would have like dreams of that. But the other thing is I've been thinking about while playing Breath of the Wild. Guys, I've been playing Breath of the Wild. for the
Oh,
first time.
congratulations.
And things that you can interact with or pick up are sparkling, and it made me think of, I think, Resident Evil 4.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
remember talking to you where I'd be like, I'm driving down the road and like the sun sparkles off of a stone on the ground. I feel like I got to go and pick that up. Like, this game is great.
That's funny in
They're not dreams, but it's like real life experiences
Yeah.
where I'm like walking around. I'm like, ooh, I can interact with this.
in Alone in the Dark. They have the sparkling things that you pick up, but they also have ammo drops and other things that you pick up. And because the graphics are pushed to the limit, and it looks impressive for Game Boy Color, but it's not. It doesn't look great. Instead of trying to make icons that look like things, it's literally just like it's like a solid color like icon, just like flat on the screen, just so you don't miss the important stuff. Because the game's like, there's no way we can make this look good. So here's like, looks like a letter I is on the ground, and you go pick that up. It's funny. But anyway, anybody else dream of games?
I dreamt a lot of times about playing or receiving or getting a game. What's funny is like I don't recall ever dreaming that I've been inside a game, but I've definitely had dreams where I was playing a game or I was like about to obtain a game I really wanted or something like along those lines. Can't think of anything. Probably what was it? The Secret of the Turtles 2 on NES, the one that
Arcade
was
game.
Yeah, the arcade game. That one was probably what I was dreaming about because I really
You know,
wanted it.
I honestly used to dream of that game too, and there's 3 reasons. A, Turtles, of course, obviously. B, they had it. They used to have it at the Pizza Hut out here. It was in there for a
Oh,
while to
yeah.
play. And C, it was related to Pizza Hut, so I also dreamt of
Yeah.
Pizza because there was like a Pizza Hut
Perfect.
coupon in that box. So I was like, it's trifecta. I thought about it all the time. Anybody else dream of games in general? I got any specifics or no?
I'm sure I have, like, while playing
Cat
the
Trap.
game. Oh, for sure.
Dreaming of being in Cat Trap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I usually don't remember my dreams, so maybe that's why I can't think of an example.
Very, very, very few dreams do I remember, but I'll never forget the one where Do Michaels blasted through the roof at my parents' house. Sticks out more than any other dream in my life.
I think about that dream probably once a month, and it's I wasn't even dreaming it.
I
just heard the
vividly
story.
picture it, obviously because it's my parents' house, but like me sitting there on the couch, you just through the roof, and me waving, being like goodbye. Like,
I love it. I think about it all the
Amazing.
time. I just saw a trailer for that movie Cocaine Bear, and I thought of that dream that you had.
Perfect.
What did you fly out of the roof for though? There was
It was
something-
just him leaving. That's from what I remember. Just
Oh, I thought like there was something where you showed up with
I
like.
like how
great
you're asking
news.
me like
Yeah. I don't remember a reason for him leaving, but I remember the leaving. We also have a Patreon question. Dude, did you know that you can join Patreon
For $1.
$1, as Billy says? This is from Gecko Kitsune. Hi, Pod Gang. We are currently right in the middle of holiday season, which has influenced my brain juices to curate this excellent question that you may find titillating, regardless of the point in time you get this question. If you're going to give a modern game system to someone as a gift, do you open it and download all the system updates and game updates prior to gifting so they leave the experience fresh, preserving that brand new console smell, but making them wait through potentially many updates and downloads? I would consider it rather sacrilegious to open it up and rob them the wonderful feeling of ripping the plastic off a brand new console or game. However, I also see it in a different light. As for years, I didn't have internet worth a crap, and I can relate.
Yeah.
It would take me hours and hours to download new updates and games. So having that taken care of ahead of time for me would have been really nice. How do you feel about this? Have you done this yourself, or would you consider, or have you considered it in the past?
That's a fun question. I like that.
If I'm the one receiving it, I don't want anyone to have opened it before me.
Of course
I
not.
could have told you that.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Because
Was anybody
that's
different
obvious.
here?
You want the
I agree.
system?
Is anybody at this table different?
Listen,
like,
you
who
want the
do I
system?
get them out of here?
Yeah.
You want someone to open up your box?
Yeah, I want to play. I don't want to. I'm not like, oh boy,
Unbelievable.
exciting. I
Unbelievable.
can't wait to wait for the update to download.
This guy. So when I worked at the Apple store, they would be like, all right, when you're setting up someone's brand new iPad, let them open the box. You'd be surprised how many of yous there are. They're just like, open it up, get it open, start it up for me. I want to play.
Well, like even with
Like a
phone,
7-year-old.
with a phone, I can see it.
Yeah,
even,
I'm talking about 7-year-olds.
with a phone, I could see it even more because you're like, this isn't a fun thing. Like, I need this to talk to people. Just get it ready for me, and I'll use it.
iPads.
Yeah, same kind of thing. But yeah, game system. Like, if it's Christmas morning and you could save me 2 hours when everybody in the world is trying to download these updates.
How about you hang out with your family while they open presents while it's updating for 2 hours? What is the problem here?
Well, in my family, we all open presents
Listen,
at the
They're
same
animals.
time.
They're
you
animals.
want-
Everybody just rips in, and I sit there and I'm like, do I?
You don't go one at a
No,
time.
no. Everybody just
Hold on,
goes.
now hold on.
If you want this game-
This is a whole new discussion.
That's a lie. Now, Christmas now, we all take one gift and open it at the same time and talk about it, but we never open more than one at a time. Back when I was a child and until I moved out, it was your presents are there. To be honest, they weren't wrapped. They were just there.
What's wrong with you?
Take them and you go. Yeah, fun.
Same
Play.
safe time with you
Well,
guys.
congratulations. Whatever.
We have to go one person at a time, one gift at a time.
Oh yeah.
In a rotation.
Youngest first, and that's how it goes.
That's how it goes for
if
you
you
guys,
want
and that's fine.
This game system,
yeah.
I'm not going to rob you the experience of learning about downloading all this stuff and the
Mhm.
time it takes to deal with it.
So you
Well,
can
the thing is-
appreciate.
You want
it.
the experience, you're gonna
We
get
would
it.
have we didn't have these problems because we didn't have to download anything with with any of the old
No,
systems.
we just have to open it up and go.
Not right out of the box.
Yeah, did your parents blow into your games for you too? Because
No.
you couldn't do that. You
Listen,
didn't wanna have fun.
we're talking about the day you
Did
get
they
it.
blow into your lungs to give you the air to blow into the system?
Listen, I'm all about it. If somebody didn't do it, I wouldn't be upset in the least. But if somebody did it, I'd be like, wow, that's really nice of them going
And
the
how
extra step.
crappy would it be if you did all that and you gave it to them, and Aunt Susie gave them the same thing, and that one's all wrapped up, and they're like, oh, the Aunt Susie came to visit a week before the holidays, so they got that first, and now you open this and you broke it open, you did all the downloads, and now you got to return it. Oh,
Do I have to?
Why would I? What?
I
Why
think
would
if I had-
Why would I do all the updates and everything and then return it if I already got the other one a week ago?
No.
Ask Aunt
If
Susie.
you bought it for Deux,
Yes.
but Deu's Aunt Susie came and visited the week prior and gave it to him. Now they have two of the same system.
Yeah, like you
But
didn't
one-
know.
Yours is the newest one. That one's got to get returned. But now you can't just return it for a flat return. You have to trade it in because it's been opened
This
and
is
used.
the scenario we've all been thinking of, and I'm glad that somebody brought it up.
Does no one in families communicate what gifts have been
Not
gotten
Aunt
for your
Susie.
child?
She goes rogue.
She does.
Well,
In
then
fact,
We gave her the list.
Listen
We
to what
gave
you
her the
just said.
list. We
Listen
said
to what
Aunt
you
Susie.
said. She went rogue. Then she pays the consequences.
No, because her system is already the one being used. It's okay,
She
Sally.
went rogue. You said it.
He's
She
lost
went
his
rogue.
I would also like to comment
I've
that
always hated Aunt Susie.
Aunt Susie's off the reservation.
she's a total bitch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I would like to note though that if I had children,
Aunt Susie is a boring old bitch. Man.
if I had a kid, I would probably do it ahead of time for like if they were young enough to not really understand, I would probably do it ahead of time.
It's the same as opening up the thing to put the batteries in. So that, yes, I
Which
get that.
I feel like is an important part of my childhood
Now, hold on a
development,
second here.
Putting
Opening-
it together, putting the back, like a lot
Opening
of
up
times,
and putting the batteries in is not the same as connecting a platform to the internet and downloading software updates.
I think it's pretty
I
common
feel
now.
like I don't know. I feel like it's all part of the experience.
Yeah, I
with
think
you.
it's pretty common for parents to get the gifts from Santa and like open them and assemble them for the kids.
they're nice parents.
But I think there's something to be said for being like, oh, it's got to charge. Do you remember when I bought that Magic Mixie?
Yeah,
Dorothy and I
remember
got the
how much
Magic
that
Mixie,
sucked?
and we had to sit and wait for hours
Yeah,
for
and
it
what
to charge.
happened? I listened to you guys complain about it the whole time.
Yeah, but we had fun.
So what about the kid has the system, or whoever it is that you're buying this has a system, but you buy them,
I swear to God, if you bring up Aunt Susie again.
but you buy them a game, and the game has to do an update that needs to download and it's going to take like 45 minutes for that download. Like it's like,
well, here's
okay.
the answer. One thing I have complete control of. One I do not.
No
I can't
how much
update
you think
the
you
game.
have control over things. You don't.
If
sir.
I'm buying someone a
You
system,
don't,
I can update the
sir.
system. If I buy them a game, I'm not going to take their system from them in advance and do the update. No, that would be ridiculous. You're being ridiculous, and you know it.
You're being an
They already got the system. Get them a game. What'd you say? I thought you said Nazi sympathizer.
No, an Aunt Susie sympathizer.
I don't know. I guess if the kid's young enough, and if it's in today's day and age where there's internet connections, then fine, open it up. What's the kid? No, kid doesn't know any difference. Like you said, he's going to be.
And if you don't want them
a
being
brat
obnoxious,
and wants to play,
yeah.
So there you go.
Not even a brat, just like a kid that wants to play. Like
brat.
They're like
you can't do
like when we're all kids, we didn't want to just play with the toys we had.
No, I wanted to learn responsibility and character building.
Listen, pal, you're going to play it. You're just going to have to wait like an hour
Again.
longer.
I'm not saying it's wrong to have to wait. I'm just saying if you could help out, why not?
Could be a good lesson to learn. Not everything's given to you second you want it.
Let's stop shouldering this responsibility and put it on the
And
game,
Susie.
the system makers. There's no reason they should be putting that stuff on shelves where we have to go and fix their problems by downloading patches and stuff. Those things should be dealt with beforehand.
So are we ready for
before a
music?
game comes out? They should do patches.
Are you ready for
Or
music?
the systems and stuff. When you get a system and it's like, oh, I gotta update this. And
So you're
download
saying
this.
just like you want it the old way. It just comes out and that's
the systems should be set up to play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you want it like the old days.
Yeah.
This is a great argument because you're like, I just
don't
want it ready to play, but they're not like that anymore. So I'm not going to help the kid and set it up to play. I wish it was like the old days.
I'm
and I
saying-
can make it like that for this kid, but I'm not going to do it.
That's actually a great point. That's like exactly what like the boomers are doing. You know, they had
Yeah.
everything, and now that
No.
things are different, they're like, oh, we're gonna stop you from having what we had.
Iceberg
I wish
6
it-
says
No,
who's
I'm
going to
not-
get the
I'm not-
screwdriver out and attach that RF modulator to the TV, though.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying like, you know, like I can't verbalize it right now. I'm getting upset.
Well, all I'm gonna say is,
Gee,
And
welcome.
Susie sucks.
for me personally, I like to open my own stuff, but I guess I'm just some patient loser who
Now
should
listen,
want to
How many kids
play
are
something
going to open it
immediately.
up and be
You-
like,
this
has
is
been
this is
open."
you guys. This is you guys making up kids. Nobody's brought up patients or brats except you guys. This is you guys talking about imaginary kids. Are there brats? Are there impatient kids? Sure, but this is you interjecting something into the situation that's not being discussed. We're talking about: would you like to offer a kid something that's updated and they can play right away, or offer them something where they?
this is okay. This isn't for me personally. This is
Yeah.
for an actual child.
This is everybody. Yeah, we're just talking about
Uh,
which would you do for the kid, and you guys are like a brat and patience. We're not talking about that.
and
Would
I
you
guess
want
I
the kid to be
like
able to
this
play?
Can you ask
Or-
the story? Can
well,
you
if you're
ask the
buying them
question again?
something.
Yeah, right. I bought the thing too. Yeah, okay.
Is the
Then
question-
sure.
the
Maybe you
question
don't
is
like
about a
them and you just
specific
want them to
person?
shut up. So then you would update it. You'd be like, it's ready to go. Just get out of here.
Exactly.
The question is about a specific situation, or is it hypothetical?
If you're going to give a modern game
Okay,
system to
so
someone
it's-
as a
it's
gift,
just hypothetical. I thought you're saying like we're supposed to actually be giving our
what the hell are you talking
advice to somebody.
about? Oh,
Should I do
no.
this or should I not?
Nobody listen to us for any advice. First
Please
things first.
don't.
Please don't. That's right.
And you know who else don't go to? Aunt Susie.
That's what we learned from this.
I do want to say if some of you out there are named Susie and you happen to be an aunt, God bless you. And if you have an Aunt Susie, we mean nothing, no harm towards Aunt Susie. She's probably a wonderful woman.
You know, Aunt Susie's boomer ass. She's not going to update it for the kids and be like, back in my day. And then when her phone goes wonky, she's going to be like, yeah, why doesn't this just work? What's
Listen,
going on?
we
Speaking of
probably
phones
already
going
know.
wonky, you have a
I
story
got to
to
tell
tell.
that story.
We
I gotta tell that
probably
story.
already know that Aunt Susie got an Xbox when the kid wanted a Switch. Like we know
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the problem.
And
there.
Xbox original.
or she bought an Xbox 360 game for the kids Xbox S Series XWY and
Or
Z1.
she gives the gift and before they open it, she's like, I want you to know, I really hope you like this. This was really hard to get and it was very expensive. And it's literally an eggs box because eggs are so expensive, right?
Wow, you really committed to that.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Wow.
All right. Story, music. We got to go. We're pushing the limit on 3 here. Quickly, the story
Mario.
about my dad, as promised. My dad, after years, has finally gotten an iPhone. No more Android. They go to the Verizon store, him and my mom. Never had an Apple product ever. As you know, Apple IDs. Set up an Apple ID.
God, that's probably a nightmare.
He
doesn't have one?
Ahead of time. No, because he never had an Apple product. Ahead of time, my dad doesn't have an email. Made him an email.
He doesn't have an email either?
Yeah, who the hell's emailing him?
Who's helping him do this?
My mom. Totally fine. She knows how to do
What
all
a
that.
saint.
So she set him up with a Gmail account, and because she knew he was going to need an email account before they set this up, they go to the Verizon store.
What is it like? Cassidy goes straight crazy
Well,
at gmail.com.
part of this is great. So whatever, they go, blah, blah, blah. My dad comes over Thursday. I was like, hey, Dad, how's the new phone? And he's like, and I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, well, they got this. And he says everything wrong, which is to be expected. But he's
Which
like,
is just
"You
about
got
when
this-
I get home from a
got this
long
Perfect
day.
timing.
got this
Perfect
login."
timing.
And the guy at the store couldn't set it up. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, the Apple, whatever. And I was like, oh, just give me your phone. So the Apple ID is not logged in. And I go, after 15 minutes of me trying to find words that I can say so that my parents will understand, because I'm like, I know what these things are called, but I can't say that to them. It's like I'm speaking a foreign language. I figure out what to say. And I'm like, let's start at square one. Do you have an email address? Because in his phone, under the Apple ID, it says an email address. And he's like, yeah. And I go, okay, you gave it to the guy at the Verizon store. And what happened? He goes, it wouldn't work. And I go, what do you mean it wouldn't work? He goes, it wouldn't work. My mom's like, it didn't happen. It wouldn't work. And I was like, okay, what's the password to the email? And my mom goes, I don't know. And my dad goes, I don't know. And I go, okay, did you write it down? And my dad goes like this to my mom, like looks over at her like, and my mom's like, and I was like, Mom, did you write it down? And she goes, I remember it. And I was like, that's not what I'm asking you.
I believe he said that your mother doesn't operate
Your mother
that
doesn't,
way.
yeah. So I was like, Mom, you didn't write it down. She goes, no, but I remember it. And I go, okay, what's the password? And she gives it to me, and no, it doesn't work. So I'm like, you're not remembering it correctly. I'm going to skip so much of the story for time's interest and go right to the best part. This is so good. This is so good. The email address my dad was using for the Apple ID is non-existent. It was never made. It was one he considered at one point, never made it, yet told the Apple or the Verizon store guy this email address.
So they made a different one. So they did make one, but
They
this was a considered one that he never even made.
He had two choices for an email address. He made one and gave the guy at the Verizon store the other. So
That's
I
never
found this
happened
out
before, and I've seen everything in that Apple ID.
So the
realm,
guy gave up because obviously the Verizon guy at one point was like, "Not my problem," and just signed up. And he's like, "Here's your phone." So I found this out when I went to go to Gmail to log in. And I was like, "What's your Gmail? What's your email address?" And it gave it to me, and it didn't give the I didn't even get the option of putting in a password. It was like, "This does not exist," and I was like, you guys just made this email address? And they're like, we did just yesterday before we went. And I was like,
nightmare.
I was like, you're wrong. And they're like, we made it. So I read them the email and they're like, that's it. We made it. And I was like, I can't explain like this. You've made this up. This doesn't exist. No one has ever typed this in as an email address. And then you are right. It was something like, because it's my dad, it's history related. I don't want to say specific numbers or anything, but it's like years of specific battles and things that happened in history.
Oh my God.
And then we figure that out. And then I asked for the password. This is the other great part. One password they put in somewhere. The passwords are the same on two different things, except one has a capital letter and one doesn't. And they didn't know why they did it.
Oh God.
So my mom was like, I know the password. It's blah, blah, blah. And I type it in. I'm like, that's not it. And I go, is there a capital letter somewhere? My mom's like, no, there's not. And then she sits there for 10 minutes and she's like, maybe there's a capital P. And I put that in. I was like, here it is. Now we're in. So I set it all up and I was like, if I was the guy at the Verizon store and I tried to solve this, I would have blown my brains out because
it's a
the solution being You're giving me an email address you think you have, but you imagined making and you didn't make it. Like,
And
unbelievable.
in the meantime,
Incredible.
there's
That's
the
incredible.
interaction between his parents
Yeah.
Oh, of
also
course.
occurring.
Of course, and it's each other's fault, and
Yes,
like, you know,
very angry,
you
both
know.
of them. The best part is, at one point, my dad got very angry and frustrated, and he had like, what was it, like a pen next to him or something? He took the pen and he like threw it on the sofa, and it was like a little like flip, and I'm like laughing at it, and I was like, Dad, if you're gonna be a baby, I'm not gonna help you. Just calm down. We're gonna get it figured out. And then we did. It was really funny. Then I'll save it for after story. We got to do music. There's another dad story for after story related to this one. Music, please.
I got music. You want to hear it?
So good. So fun. Send your music to goninpod@gmail.com. Again, that's goninpod@gmail.com. Please put music in the title. Mom Brain.
I need the plug.
Oh, that's right. You got to yank the cord out of the iPad and give it to her. I forgot.
Finally.
Thank you.
You should be good. Wait. I really, time-wise, let's do 3. I like it. Why you get so annoyed?
Because I have a bunch ready.
What, I sneezed. I can't sneeze now?
For me to.
Well, it's my fault then. I should have said that earlier.
This one comes from Mikey3319.
Familiar, but not enough familiar. It sounds outer space related.
I think it is.
Oh, okay. Licensed? Too good for license. Yes?
Yeah, it's licensed.
I'm wrong every which way. I can't. It could be Konami?
Hudson Soft.
Related. Hudson. What the hell did Hudson put out? I go to Adventure Island right away and I think Bomberman?
No.
Hudson did like a lot of shoot 'em ups.
Inspector Gadget?
No.
Or
Oh, you said it's licensed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck?
No.
I can't think of licensed Hudson stuff. That's crazy. Still around?
Mm-hmm.
Superheroes? G.I. Joe.
No.
They didn't do that game. I'm just guessing out my ass. You guys got guesses?
No.
We don't know. We don't know.
It was Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu.
Wow. Still around, it's true. Mom Brain, perfect answers on all of that.
This one comes to us from Turbo K.
My mind immediately goes to like Resident Evil or Fatal Frame. Or...
It is neither of
Oh,
those.
not anymore.
Oh. Kentucky Route Zero.
That's correct.
It's my favorite song. I listen to this song.
It has a very Twin Peaks vibe.
You gotta play that game.
It sounds like Sharon Van Etten.
I mean, but look.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah. Very pretty.
Really,
All
that
right.
song has made me cry many times.
It's great soundtrack in that game.
And then I guess the last one we're doing today is from Ask Me.
Is this first party?
I think it is.
Yeah, I thought so because of the MIDI stuff. Man, interesting. All right. It's Asian. Oh, what is this? I'm familiar with this.
What system?
We.
This is familiar.
It's not first party. I'm sorry.
All right, then I go to Square Enix.
Captain Kaitos.
No. Published by Capcom.
Oh,
Okami?
Okami.
Yes.
Should have just went with the Asian theme. Well, thanks for the quick music, Mom Brain. I appreciate it. Dude, you got anything for us to play us out?
Oh, yeah, something just came across the old desk over here. Deux Views. It's never news. Rumor of the week, starring Deux Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're familiar with the show, you know about Deux Views, where I get all the hottest rumors, latest rumors, deepest, darkest rumors.
Oh, yeah.
From all corners of the video game world. And ladies and gentlemen, this has come across my desk. We're doing something a little different this week. This one's actually true. It's not a rumor. This one's true. They were asked, whoever created Wario was asked how he came up with some of the aspects of Wario. And he said that he heard about, who's the guy that plays Pee-wee? What's that guy's name?
Paul Rubens?
Paul Rubens. So when Paul Rubens got caught exposing himself, they were like, he was like, I want that in my Wario character. But I want him to do that when he opens up chests. And the rest is history, ladies and gentlemen. So it is true. You're not crazy, Nicky Hill, for thinking that Wario was exposing himself.
Such incredible
The
timing,
full Pee Wee
too.
Herman quote, which you rarely hear, is, I know you are exposing yourself, but what am I? All right, that's it. We did a show. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. After show, I will give you the rest of the dad story. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Now all I have to do is remember what the rest of the dad story was. What was I saying?
Just make something up.
It
We're
won't be
talking
as
about
funny.
your dad and his password and the phone.
This is terrible.
Oh, are you talking about the Google?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm getting a PSVR 2 arcade token. I am. Am I excited for it? Kind of. I am excited for it. I just don't know what I'm going to buy, to tell you the truth. I don't know if I want to jump in on Horizon because I know that's the showcase piece. I'll do the upgrade for Res because I love Res.
What about the Galaxy's Edge? Is that not a game? The Star Wars Galaxy
It's
Edge
the Star
game?
Wars stuff is the Oculus Star Wars stuff that I've already played.
You've already played Galaxy's Edge?
That's this one with all the short stories, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'll have
All
to
right.
take a closer look
Okay.
unless I'm wrong, but I'm
You know
pretty sure
more than I do
they're
about
not
this.
making like a new one for PSVR 2 yet. Google story. So my dad was like, I used to go on the internet on my Android, and when I searched for whatever I wanted, I went to Google. And I was like, okay, well, you can go to Google on any browser. And he's like, yeah, but I had to Google. And
Was
I'm
he
like,
Googling Google?
not quite, but almost.
Google, like, say, hey, Google, open Google.
That's too sophisticated for him. His old Android had like the Google app, which is just a Google search, except, you know, it's not a web browser. Yes, it takes you to websites, but there's no address bar. You can't type in like, I want to go to GoNintendo. You can't do that. You have to search GoNintendo on the Google app, and it'll give you a link to GoNintendo and then open that in another page. But if you're on that page, your only option is close that page. You can't type in anything else up top. So it's like Google wants to see everything you're doing everywhere you're going. That's what he wanted. And I want to say it took a half hour to figure out what he wanted and what he meant. And when we finally gave it to him, he was unsure if he wanted it. So it's going great. He's doing a great job with his new phone. It's I don't know.
Is it going to be okay though? Like, you think this phone for him? Like,
yeah,
eventually
it'll be fine. Yeah. Listen, old people, new thing, takes a little acclimation period. I'm sure he'll be okay. My mom is there to help him, like with using the iPhone. Did she fumble with the email thing? Sure, but she knows how to use an iPhone, so that's okay.
I like how they both didn't. I mean, I guess you wouldn't be thinking about it, but it's funny that they had two choices. They chose one, made it, and then when they couldn't figure out like the password or why it wasn't working, not one of them was like, "Oh, this is, we had two and we used the wrong one." Like, they didn't
Nope.
think about that for
They
like 10
didn't
minutes or
even
more.
think that wasn't the email they didn't make. They just thought that was the email we made.
Oh, man, that's
definitively, like, we made this, we did it. I know that's the password. I just don't know why it's working. So thank God I went and tried in regular Gmail, and it was like, this doesn't exist. And I was like, why do you guys said you made this? Did you not make something? And then that led to, wow, you gave him an email that you imagined.
Well, that kind of brings me to something I wanted to mention, because I read something that Iced Dilbert had said in the Discord when we were talking about opening up a gift for a child and like installing stuff for them. He said something like, my parents wouldn't know how to do that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
like it's like true. My parents would never have
Yeah.
opened it up because they wouldn't have known what the hell they were doing. So like now, of course, obviously, parents probably know what they're doing.
That's very true. Like, especially, nowadays it's kids getting stuff for
That's
their
why
parents
I
and the
don't
kids
wanna-
setting it up.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to open anything up and try to set it up either.
Well,
Also-
I ruined it.
Also, setting things up are like very specific to what you have. Like, you're going to set it up, you need to like set up a password or whatever. I mean, you don't have to with the system necessarily, but like you go into an account and set it up, you need to have the email and everything else. So I don't know.
Well,
But
not
it
for
was-
like
like,
system updates and all that.
I helped my sister get a Switch for my nieces, but only to buy it. And then like there's been times where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna need you to help set this up," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not helping." Like, I'm kind of concerned or afraid that I'm gonna screw something up with setting it up, or like if things need to get set up a specific way, like they should know the settings
Yeah.
themselves.
Right.
I just want to make sure you saw this. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know what it's in reference to, but
Oh.
Solidmaster Link said, "Sorry, Do. If I was telling you how to run the soundboard, I didn't mean to. You did a great job." I don't know what that's in reference to, but I thought you should see it.
They asked me earlier to play the DD Mega Doo when Nicky Hill was reading like a weird European release.
Yes.
And I did, and I didn't think it. I thought it was a great idea. The only problem was after I read that, then I spent like 3 or 4 minutes thinking, like waiting for the perfect time to do that, and I wasn't really paying attention to anything else. I do think it worked out well. I did use it, and I thought it was funny, but yeah, it had me thinking too much. Well, I like doing the soundboard, but I feel like I'm concentrating so hard on the soundboard that I'm not either paying attention or even like giving anything that's important.
Well,
Not that
if
that's
it
why
makes
I
you feel
listen.
better, I thought you did great at both. Like, I didn't find you
Oh.
as not aware of what was going on in the show, and you were talkative, and I think you do a great job.
Finally.
But more importantly, Solid Master Link, if you're going to be bossing the man around, are you also going to be paying him for his time here?
We got a
No,
real
not
Aunt
necessary.
Susie on our
I
hands.
do this for free.
All right, everybody. That's what we got for you today. Supersized content. Hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun one. We had a good time. Nice to have you back, Nicky Hill.
Glad to be here. Gotta go.
Glad to be here. I grew up here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Grew up here.
Play some games. Hang out with friends and family. Rest, relax. You deserve it. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. We done.
Deleted.